Well, it's that time of the year again. Another day, another Marvel movie to talk about.
Yeah, somehow this
Um,
movie got like 500 million in like 5 days.
it's expected to get a billion very soon.
Oh God, help.
Does it deserve it?
No. Um. Uh. What people think so?
We have a bit of a hot take among us.
Yeah, yeah. Before we get started, just a quick introduction. This is another Reviews Corp podcast. I'm your host, Fred Develos Reviews, and I'm back here again with my good co-host, Unity Review and Analysis. What's up, Unity?
I'm good. We seen Deadpool and Wolverine together. We're not pleased by it. Let's just say.
Yeah, but in order to keep the anticipation hot, we're back here again with our good friend, Operation Bagel. What's up, Bob?
Hi.
So yeah,
Yep.
um, yeah. So before we get started, just a quick reminder: we do have another channel, another Reviews Core podcast, where you can subscribe for more content related to our podcast. We talk a lot about movies and TV shows, and yeah, subscribe to that. Check out our Spotify. All these links are in the description down below. And it's been an interesting weekend, weekend related to
Yeah.
Marvel. Um, but Unity, you wanted to make a shout out before we get started.
Yeah. So Death Battle is having a crowdfunding right now. Set to in order to save them because they're now going independent with like Roster Teeth basically shut down. So I hope that people just go on to that to not okay. You don't have to raise money to Death Battle, give money to Death Battle for sick, but I just want you guys to raise. I just want to raise awareness for them, just to express and express. Seriously, yeah, that's it. Yeah, just have this hashtag, just spread this around and save Death Battle because they I mean they're not that good beforehand, but now they've grown better and better and they respect a lot of the characters.
Yeah, but
It's
before we start giving an example about a movie that shits on characters, I think we should probably just talk a little bit about the Comic Con that happened shortly after the movie. Like it happened in the same weekend where the movie dropped Thursday, and then the Comic Con was that same week. Um, and yeah, if you thought the MCU was desperate with Deadpool and Wolverine, the stuff they announced was it's indescribable how desperate it is. Uh,
Desperate. Can it get any more?
yeah. Um, so here's a few things, just a few highlights about things that were revealed. Uh, so Cap 4, we got a few things. Um, it's revealed that Giancarlo Esposito's character is who was completely added during the reshoots, by the way, so he wasn't in the original filming. Um, they said he is now the leader of the Serpent Society, Sidewinder. It's revealed to be the king, although it's just funny to me because there's a little literal character named King Cobra on Serpent Society. But all right. Also wonderful, Giancarlo's playing another villain again. Hooray!
yay.
That man will never play a hero. Now this was where this news is where I lost a lot. Like this is where I lost any interest in the MCU moving forward. It was the reveal that they explained how adamantium will exist in the MCU. How? Well, apparently the Celestial, that giant thing that's coming out of the earth back in Eternals that have not been addressed for a while,
Yeah.
except for like She-Hulk, I guess, in a Twitter post, I guess. Yeah, that thing is made entirely out of adamantium.
Fuck off.
Yeah, just
So,
this is your way to make Eternals important. Okay.
Sure.
And like, if you really think about it, so if you're saying that Celestials are naturally made of adamantium, well, Cersei's powers are made of a thing. Yeah, you're right. Anti-Monitor, a news article in She-Hulk. It's definitely easy to miss. But yeah, so Cersei's like powers are kind of like she changes the pretty much the molecular structure of something to make it
Yeah,
something different. So if she's using her powers on something that's already adamantium, then technically it's not adamantium anymore. But I guess ignore that.
Yeah, that's it's weird because I was like, okay, why would you change it to adamantium anyways? Just change it to. Actually, I do not know what I actually do not know what molecule she should change it to, but adamantium isn't the best one because it's like a really durable metal and it's not
Yeah,
as good. Yeah.
it's essentially like an alloy in Marvel Comics. Like obviously, like you have things comparing it to adamantium and vibranium. I don't know, but saying like the celestial, the thing that happened to be in the Earth billions of years ago, that just emerged now, and now you're telling me that okay, now it's a adamantium. Yeah, it's definitely a post retcon for sure. Thankfully, Captain Deadpool and Wolverine are safe. It's just a knockoff movie called Deadpool and Wolverine that's in the meat grinder.
Good thing.
Good thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is this is the news that I officially quit the MCU, even though there is something that happens at the end of the
to be honest,
stuff that's
I
probably
was
bad.
I was not even quitting because I was so expecting that shit. So it was like because because that was so normal for Phase 4 and Phase 5. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And yeah, the thing is, like, we knew about this. Like, people have been leaking the plots that we're gonna go to this. We're gonna finally talk about the celestial that's coming out of the Earth, and it's important because apparently it's made out of adamantium, and everybody's trying to fight for it. Which is kind of like what they saw like test footage of at the Comic-Con. So in the footage, they said that President Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford now, is talking about the celestial that came out of the Earth at the end of Eternals, and they're making a mass production of adamantium. And then it ends with Red Hulk, President Ross turning into Red Hulk in front of the White House during a speech. And the Red Hulk's face looks exactly like Ford, just with yellow eyes and black hair.
To be honest, I think everyone knows that. So
Yeah.
let's just get to the thing people actually talks about.
I guess just a little bit. Thunderbolts, the only thing really is just it's a bunch of ragtag people who don't think they work together will need to work together because they've been betrayed. It's a attempt to answer to Suicide Squad that happened 3 years ago. So yeah, that's great. Fantastic Four is a little bit more interesting. The Fantastic Four First Steps. It is definitely taking place in another universe.
I mean, to be honest, for me, I was like, okay, my only reaction is, what a stupid title. What does that mean?
Yeah. So First Steps is like, I guess it kind of works in two ways. Like if you think about like First Steps out there, out in space, or like on the moon, or it's like in the context of like Franklin Richards' first steps as a baby. But I don't know. It's not a very engaging title, but like I get it, kind of a thing. But yeah, the big stuff is Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. They're both being directed by the Russo brothers. Yeah, they're back, and they also got rid of Mike Waldron, so there's some good news.
I mean, and they get the writer for both Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and the First Avenger.
Yeah, so they revealed that the biggest reveal is that Avengers 5, instead of Kang Dynasty, it's going to be Doomsday, and the big reveal is that. So Joe Russo props it up by saying like we needed the greatest actor in the world to play this role. So comes a person in a Doom mask, and who else could it be but Robert Downey Jr.
And everyone shit themselves.
Yay! I'm so happy. Yep, I'm so happy about it. I immediately made a video right after I just saw the news.
Yeah, man, it's like the amount of desperation it takes just to use. First off, it's just hilarious to me that like we're gonna recast Thunderbolt Ross just for the Red Hulk collapse, and we cannot do that with Kang, even though he's like the easiest character to do that with variants. But okay.
But he's black. You can't
Yeah.
you can't recast black people. The actor is so big that the character has to die with them.
Yeah, I'm sure Doomsday will open with like a bunch of with Doom just killing all the Kangs, just to make it show. Yeah, we're really done with Kang, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, they said something like Doomsday will conclude the Kang plot.
Yeah.
I bet money Doomsday is Doomsday whatever. Doctor Doom is gonna kill all Kangs in the multiverse.
Somehow, probably.
Yeah, and like honestly, my biggest thing, just like just a quick thing to do before we get to the real thing we're here for. I don't know. I find like putting so much focus on Doctor Doom, but like he's not even the Doctor Doom. Apparently, he's like a variant. Is really cringe. I mean, like, why would you want to focus on a variant and not the actual Doctor Doom? That just
Actually, the
kind of ridiculous.
rumor is Robert Downey Jr. is not the Doctor Doom. He's just being controlled by the real Doctor Doom.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
And yeah, it's like it's like I know there's a whole conversation about like I'm kind of on the I'm on the train with like it's just cast a Romani actor, man.
To be
Like
honest, at this point, I was like,
Iman Vellani was like found, and she's Miss Marvel, and she did a pretty good job with even though the script is not very good. Everybody loves her. I'm sure you could do the same thing with Doctor Doom. It's not the worst thing in the world.
to be honest, I might as well just get the actor who played Doctor Doom in what's it called, the 2005 Fantastic Four, because at least that wasn't as desperate.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. It's like my last comment on it. It's like you feel like you cast like Robert Downey Jr. for the sole purpose of you want people to know his face. You want the heroes to react to, oh my God, you rip off the mask and it's Robert Downey Jr., somebody I recognize in my world for Tony Stark. I don't know. And like, you see all of the edits of Spider-Man and Mr. Stark, is that you? I was like, yeah, so it's just really garbage, man.
Yay, I'm happy. So are we gonna be more happy about the movie? Deadpool Wolverine?
Yeah, so that's going off of one desperation. So let's get back to another one. So we had Unity had a poll on his channel related to the movie. What do people think about where does the movie rank? So just to give an idea of what
I think you should make it bigger. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so the question was, where do you find the ranking of Deadpool and Wolverine? Better Than No Way Home, 22%. Around Shang-Chi, 17%. Nobody agreed around Eternals. Around Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, 28%. And worse than Multiverse of Madness, 33%. I personally vote for worse than Multiverse of Madness myself.
Yeah, that's basically what I vote for as well. Was like because I was literally looking at the poll, and I was surprised that people actually think a lot more people think that way as us.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say your ranking is, Unity?
I just said it myself. Worse than Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. And then
I said around Ant-Man just because I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. I definitely have a case for why it's worse than Multiverse of Madness. We'll talk about that during this breakdown.
Yeah,
don't worry. Yep, because somehow Death Battle respects like Wanda, Ant-Man, Deadpool, Wolverine, and other characters more than the MCU itself. I was so surprised.
Yeah, they're just looking to get claps now. they're not really interested in. The problem is that it works very well. Just before we get started, I doubt Doom is going to be a variant of Iron Man, since it's implied at the Comic-Con that Robert is playing Victor Von Doom, but that doesn't mean the movie will be good. Yeah,
I don't know. I doubt they're just gonna have like another Robert Downey Jr. just not acknowledge that he looks like Tony in some way.
yeah, I feel like, and it's like, why Doctor
Unless
Doom?
they really do like that he gets scarred so much he's unrecognizable, but I doubt that again.
Yeah. And then like he's getting like what 80 million for both Avengers films, and then you just remember that comic writers cannot get any residuals, where they need
No,
GoFundMe's.
way more than 80 million. The 80 million is just the Russo brothers.
Oh damn.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, that brings us to Deadpool 3. So what do you guys think, non-spoiler wise, before we get started?
I rewatched the Elektra movie, the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, the 2007 Fantastic Four movie, and some episodes of Bleep the series. Don't get me wrong, they're all not good, and most of them are pretty bad, but they're way better than this movie. And good lord, when I rewatch them, I just realized how much they ignore those things.
Yeah. What do you think, Operation?
What's the official term? Diarrhea?
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, the thing is, like, I never really had faith in this movie. I never really had faith in this movie back when it was like kind of accepted that this is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine together. I fully expected it to be like, though the two of them will be fun together, but everything else is going to suck.
Yeah, same here.
I mean,
That
that
kind of is the case. I still feel like the dynamic is it's good when they're together, but there's a lot of times where they're separated. Because it's too busy sucking off Logan's dick. But we'll get to that.
I mean, to be honest, I was so miserable because like the first scene, and I was like, okay, fuck off. I'm done with this movie.
Yeah. And honestly, like, they've been talking about this the entire time. Like, we needed to do like find a way how to treat Logan with respect, so that we don't like do anything with that. So that's even the first line of the movie, or one of the first lines of the movie. So I know you're wondering, how are we going to do this without dishonoring Logan's memory? And I'll tell you now, we're not.
Literally,
You NSYNC.
the first sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, he goes to. So this is like in medias res. So it's not the true beginning of the film. It's a scene that happens later. But yeah, basically, Deadpool is back at the grave where Logan's body was put to rest, and he's digging it up. He's saying things like, his world is dying. He needs Wolverine's help, and all he can find is the adamantium skeleton. And then,
Oh no!
Yeah.
If only he had some kind of way to get to Logan, like before he was dead. What a shame.
Yeah, what a shame.
he had two devices that could do that,
Yeah.
but one of the devices is gone. To be fair, but we'll get to that. But yeah. And the thing that struck to me like immediately was like, it's just funny that the skeleton has decaying clothes, but there's still like hair connected to the skull. It's like Uncharted.
Yeah, that's and this is funny that Deadpool just talks to that Logan, because that's totally in character for Deadpool to do so.
Yeah.
Imagine in Deadpool 2, he just talks to what's it called? Okay, yeah, Brad Pitt's dead corpse after he got electrocuted.
Elektra is unwatchable in my opinion. I do agree.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it a few times. it is not a good. It's not a good watch. There are a few scenes I was like, yeah, that's kind of good. Most of them are just nonsense, but it's still way better than whatever this is.
Yeah.
And
So speaking of which,
yeah, don't get me wrong, because I will bring up Electra when we get to that.
yeah. So the TVA show up. Deadpool is using. So you got your fight scene. So instead of Deadpool using his own weapons that he has, he decides to use Logan's adamantium bones one at a time, like breaking all of his bones just to kill the TVA agents. So yeah, so Logan's literally.
What? How
So
do you break adamantium?
yeah, that's a few things. So he breaks
Well, I think
adamantium
he's just breaking like it from the ligaments
joints.
where they're connected, not the actual bones themselves.
But even that, I was like, you expect those joints to be a bit more durable than snapping it down.
Maybe, I don't know, because it's like he holds it up and like the skeleton stays together, but then when he starts like throwing it comes apart.
Which is weird because
I'm not too sure how like the decay rate on a corpse is.
and then it's like, and
Yeah,
then he
it's
actually,
very clear that they wanted the coolness of using a skeleton to fight TVA agents. Even though Deadpool has functioning weapons, because the TVA have prune sticks, they don't have any ranged weapons. Even though it won't matter, but yeah, it's just basically one at a time to kill everybody.
Yeah, because they all just slowly walk out at him from portals like 20 yards away.
Yeah, and again, they have prune sticks at the very least. If you surround them, eventually one of them is gonna.
yeah, joints. I
Yeah.
mean that I will accept that if not the fact that Deadpool actually rip his spine off and his skull. That's that is that a joint point?
Well, yeah, but the like spine connects to the skull. Yeah.
Hmm. And then you just realize it's like, okay, if he get, it's like, and then you just realize, wait, why are you just this casual about ripping off Logan's body?
Yeah, and then it is adamantium, and all that stuff. So it is a valuable resource in that sense. I get that, but like, I don't know. It's just like it's very clear that all of this is for a coolness factor.
I mean,
And
they also said that his blades are adamantium. So, oh well.
yeah, they reveal his swords are made out of adamantium as well. Yeah. So, one of my non-spoilery discussion about it is just like it's not the opening sequence is not as impressive as the other ones. Like first off, like one of them is like the other intros are kind of like fun with like how made by an asshole, played by the guy who did drugs, something like that. Like like when they're doing the opening credits, like those are kind of fun. Plus, like it's going between like the slow motion shot of like of something, and then the second one has like Celine Dion song. This one is just kind of, I mean, the dance sequence is good. They're very proud of that, and that's fair. But yeah, I just didn't think this opening sequence was like as interesting as the ones that they had.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
Sure.
it's also really disrespectful if you just.
Hello.
Yeah, we just talk about Deadpool Wolverine, and because if you remember Logan, the last thing like X-23 said, it's like you're no longer a gun. It's like, okay, I don't remember the exact quote, but it's like you're no longer used as a weapon, basically. And now this movie is like, yeah, let's just use him as a weapon.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. And I get it. It's like I get it. It's just for the funnies. It's all I can really think about.
Remember the Last Jedi when Luke just tossed his lightsaber away? Hey, that was for the funnies. Laugh.
Yeah, and then then it gets to a point where like Deadpool like wraps the forearm bones over his arms so that he makes the claws come out of them.
Yeah,
guess
how does he
that's-
do that?
I guess that's how it works.
It's like you just snap your bones like that. I was like, oh, you have time to do all of this shit.
Yeah, and again, as he says, Wolverining is hard, which would be way easier if he was using his swords. But
Oh
you
god.
know, it's for the funnies, so it's okay, I guess. But
This
yeah,
is, yep, this is symbolism for the entire movie.
yeah,
Nothing makes sense. Just respect everything from the past. It's anything for the funnies.
yeah. And then like once the title card drops, everything is in freeze mode, and then Deadpool says, "To be clear, I'm not proud of any of this. The unwanted violence, the whiff of necrophilia. It isn't who I am. It isn't who I want to be. Who do I
That-
want to be? Well, to help you understand that, I'm going to take you back, a little joyride through space and time to the day that changed everything."
So this is just copying Deadpool 1.
Yeah, which is kind of fair. They're both like in Medias Res and openings.
Doesn't the second one do that as well?
The second one does it as well.
Oh shit, yeah, but it's
But if
they just do it, but at the same time, it's like you actually go back and just understand the context. Now it
Right.
just, yeah, rough.
cool the movie.
That's
Yeah.
basically it. You just skip for the first scene. It's just like the other two movies, and then you just expect it to make sense. It doesn't.
Yeah, so this part wasn't this one is a bit odd. I feel like they should have mentioned, so I know, like, so it cuts to Wade speaking to Happy Hogan. But like if you weren't like really aware, like you might think like the Avengers actually exist in the X-Men universe, which is what I thought originally, but then I realized, like, oh, taking a joyride through space and time. Okay, so he went to quote unquote 616. Fuck off.
Yeah, it says like when he's sitting in the office, like it pans, like text on the screen says Earth 616.
Yeah,
I still don't agree with that either. That
But
it's the comic first, damn it.
yeah, just kind of ran with it at this point. It's like, yeah, fuck it.
Hey, it's funny. Hey, it's meta. It doesn't have to be good. Yeah, the interview scene definitely dragged way too long.
Yeah, we can summarize it. So this takes place in 2018, like right after No Way Home. No Way Home, Homecoming. So it's like after Homecoming, before the snap, before Thanos.
Before Thanos and the Infinity War, yeah.
So if we're just gonna get this out of the way first.
Yeah, so basically, so Deadpool just travels to 616, which we later learned that he used it via the Cable's
time
time
Just
machine.
time travel device.
What the fuck? I was like,
So
okay,
now this is kind of like the thing. I think it's kind of using based on how, I guess Deadpool did go back in time into the real world to kill Ryan Reynolds from picking up the Green Lantern thing, but that's clearly meant to be a joke. But I guess they took it seriously.
and to be honest, you could also expect there's a Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool universe, and he wants to make a Green Lanterns movie. I mean, that's nothing contradicted about it. But if you're gonna say that he suddenly appears in Star Trek, I was like, okay, here's a lot of problems.
Yeah. And then so that's like kind of the first thing is like, can you accept going to quote unquote 616 with this time machine?
No. For what? How is it? How is this even possible? Remember, in like Multiverse of Madness, they make it clear there's only one thing in the multiverse that can travel through the multiverse. American Charfest. I mean, except for a TVA, the Watcher, those are clearly higher beings. They made that clear and they break it.
Yeah, and there's going to be another MacGuffin that can also travel the multiverse, which we'll get to. So yeah. So basically,
At
he's
least
in this
the-
interview.
oh.
Sorry.
Actually, I'll wait.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, he's there in the interview. He's saying he wants to be on the Avengers because he wants to matter. He wants to show that he cares, even though he makes a lot of jokes. He needs to show his girlfriend that he matters.
I was like, your girlfriend never cared about that. Just saying.
Yeah, and then
She does now.
she does now. It's so one of the writers. So there's 5 writers in this movie. 3 of them return from the other 2, which is one, including Ryan Reynolds. Then you got Sean Levy also as a writer. So that's
director.
4th. And then you got a 5th writer, Mr. Zeb Wells.
Mhm.
And Zeb Wells only knows how to write women in one way and one way only. So yeah, that'll become a little bit more clear when we get to Vanessa. But yeah, so you have some of your meta jokes like Wade is saying, "Can I talk to the real guy?" Happy says no, and it's like Wade says, "What? Is he not into cameos?" It's like no, he just doesn't do entry level interviews. Very funny.
And then it cuts to, as I was saying earlier, the do you remember the Iron Man 2 retcon? The kid in the mask was Peter.
Yeah.
Yes.
That mask is on the desk in front of the picture of Tony and Peter. So I
Yeah.
guess this is the first in-universe like reference to that.
Which is I guess whatever.
This doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The rules change every project.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
So true.
I mean, the TVA isn't even anything unlike from the Loki TVA. Just saying.
What the fuck is an incursion?
Yeah, this movie's got to ignore that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Happy says like on his resume he didn't mention being on a team. So he says, "Yeah, I was on X Force, but his team died."
Fuck off.
So yeah, and then
Except for
Wade
2 of them.
Wade says like he wants to be an Avenger because they are the best of the best. His girlfriend needs him to go back out there, and his gifts and goods to use his his talents. Otherwise, she will leave him, and he wouldn't blame her. So a few things here: 1, sucking the dick off of MCU. 2, I guess his girlfriend just really cares about being on a team.
Fuck. Hey, we gotta bring up Deadpool when Deadpool 2 for how Vanessa is characterized later.
And 3, she's gonna leave him if he's not on a team. That's pretty. I don't know, man.
Oh.
It's pretty petty. I'm not gonna lie. If you have 5 Redditors who barely speak to each other. True.
It feels
Like
that
this
way.
movie cheats with that because we don't ever get what really happened.
Yeah, I think the
will
movie
which we'll talk about later.
Yeah,
I
because there's
I
some
think, like-
tampering with the memories as well.
Yeah, to be fair, the movie is written during the writer's strike, so yeah, there's a lot of non-communications.
Yeah. So Happy. So I like this exchange in terms of Happy rejecting Wade. I thought it was like okay in that sense, like how the Avengers are a team that people need, not, and Wade doesn't seem to be a good fit because he is doing it for himself. And Wade thinks Wade is just reaching too high, and maybe he needs to find a place that works better for him because the Avengers is just not the right fit to him. I just like that exchange pretty well. It was like the most serious thing about the conversation. I just don't really like why we're here.
Yeah, and
Or how.
Yep.
Or
and,
how we got to this point.
And
Yeah.
and also 2018 Avengers is basically after Civil War when the Avengers is split up.
Disbanded, yeah.
Yeah, so the team it's only Tony and War Machine and
The others.
yeah, I can't even say Vision. Yeah, Vision. He's right before he left for Wanda. Fuck. Yeah, that's it. And he was like, "Yeah, this is the best team ever." By the way, he was like, "Lol, what you call this
What?
a team?"
Yeah, Vanessa belongs to the streets. Not too much on Vanessa. We'll get to that.
Yeah, and by the way, if he has a device, okay, here's my thing. If he has a device that can travel across the multiverse and time and space, and he got rejected by one universe, what do you think he should be doing?
What you see, we can't have him go to another Avengers, otherwise that's not the real Avengers that we care about.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah. There's only one Avengers in the multiverse that matter.
Yeah, fuck the other what if Avengers then.
Yeah. So it cuts back to 6 years later on Earth 10,005, where Wade is now a sales consultant for pre-owned cars with Peter. I just learned
And
that his name, he's Peter Wisdom, which is like something I didn't know because he's really nothing like Peter Wisdom in the comics. Like Peter Wisdom is like a MI6, like James Bond kind of character. So
to be fair, I like Peter in Deadpool 2, so I was like, yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't know. I just would have called him Hydra Bob. That's like actually his best friend, but I guess they couldn't call him Hydra Bob back in the day.
Hmm.
There's that. But yeah, basically, so he's selling a car. He was
Okay, yeah.
talking about like how the Odyssey doesn't really fucking do anything good, and
Okay. Here's my thing. I was
in
like,
front of the kids, yeah.
and he swears. If you remember, like Deadpool 1, okay, I'm not gonna mention Deadpool 2 because technically Deadpool 2 that's a mutant, the Fire Fist guy. So in Deadpool 1, when he met Taylor Hickson, the kid who is being stalked.
Mhm.
He's not like, oh fuck you, like yeah, you're suck. No, he's actually really chill about it. It's like, yeah, here is it. I'll help you deal with it. Thank you, Wade. But yeah, I'm not. You're, and then she said, "You're my hero." It's like, yeah, I'm no one's hero. So it's actually a really casual conversation instead of this kind of wow fucker joked about it. Lol.
Yeah, but he says his reasoning why he doesn't know how to not swear because he doesn't get that much sex. So yeah.
So if you have you seen Deadpool 1? That's before he met Vanessa. For sure.
I guess he hasn't had sex with Vanessa for 6 years.
Fuck. Well,
Okay. I don't know what. Again, Zeb Wells only knows how to write women in one way.
remember Deadpool 2 that they're supposed to make a baby? That's the ending. That's why.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they don't have a kid. There's like a small reference to it, like he wanted a kid, but like he didn't think he would be a good fit. But like it's like in passing, like you don't really notice it because he's talking about he has a lack of getting pussy. So okay.
I mean, I don't think it's like, okay. You literally just retcon the entire relationship. I just hate this shit.
Yeah, and so then Peter and Wade have a conversation. He could either get better at sales or go back to being a superhero. Peter keeps a Deadpool costume in his locker in case if he wants to go back out there. Wade says that he's done and he's fine with being done. And even if the sales are not the best fit for him, he will try to make that work. Again, we still don't really get why we got to this point.
Why Deadpool? Deadpool has a stable job as a hired assassin, and he doesn't. I do not see a reason he would give up being Deadpool.
He's not getting pussy, man.
Your friend is literally Weasel. He's in a strip club. Okay, he works in a bar, and you actually met Vanessa in a bar. Sure, man. You can't just get another girlfriend.
She's the one.
They want one else.
Yeah. So there was a bit of a funny exchange, I would say. It's like when Peter is saying, they could still go on missions here or there because, as a human being, like you like to be on missions and stuff and like to help out. And then he says, we're Deadpool.
Or the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
And then Wade said, stop saying that. And he is not even Deadpool anymore. Oh, cool, I guess.
Yeah, like, get it, foreshadowing?
Yeah. And, while Peter talks about Wade's midlife crisis. Wade looks off to the side and he sees. Actually, this is a shot I didn't really notice at the first time watching it. He looks to the side and there's like a bunch of construction workers near the subway that seems to be taking photos of him. So yeah, that's going to be an important location.
Yeah,
for
that's
the third act.
We gotta talk about that. So, fuck.
And yeah, it's like right next to his apartment. Cool. And yeah. So he chooses to ignore it. Then he goes upstairs. He's got a surprise party. All the great ones are there, you know.
Yeah, that's all the character. That's the only scene that would feature. Okay, that's one of the 2 scenes that feature all the Deadpool supporting cast.
Yeah, they're only here for like 2 scenes.
Including Shatterstar, who I guess he also revived.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Shatterstar, and if you remember Deadpool 2, Deadpool hates Shatterstar.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
You know, fun fact, they actually did want Terry Crews back as well. But the schedule just didn't work out.
And yeah, and also
no mention of Domino.
No mention of Domino at all throughout the movie.
Weasel?
Cable.
Fuck Weasel, to be fair.
But
yeah, still no mention of Weasel or Cable. Well, you got Cable's reference, but it's more about his device and not about Cable the person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Certain groups have field bases. Yeah. In a rundown subway. That's like near an apartment that anybody could just walk into. We'll get to that. And this is important. This is an important line that I wanted to mention. When they see, the surprise for the party, he says, Deadpool says, "You're lucky I'm not armed. 6 years ago, you'd all be dead." So that means he has not been Deadpool for the last 6 years. So what happened 6 years ago is he was trying to be an Avenger and he got rejected. So even without knowing anything else, he hasn't been Deadpool for 6 years. So you're really going to tell me that not being an Avenger really messes him up? So yeah, just something to think about while we continue on. It'll come back.
Yeah, and in the last 2 movies, it's not like he likes to join the X-Men.
Yeah. And then, even then, it's like, surely you can find another way to make a team. You have a bunch of mutants in your friendship. Just make a team with them.
I mean, you got Colossus, Yukio, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Shatterstar. They are literally X-Men. Okay, 3 of them are X-Men.
Buck.
Yeah.
Wade talks to Dopinder, Colossus, Buck, Shatterstar, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Yukio, and Blind Al briefly. It's nothing really characterized there. It's just a bunch of here's some funny things.
Yeah, and it's like, and because they realize, fuck, we forgot to write their character, so it's like, okay, here, give them like 1 line each to talk about. Good, move on.
Here's a joke. Here's the thing that's happening. It's not even about their life. It's just something I found funny. Let's talk about it. And then Wade just goes to the next character. And then I guess the funny thing was Blind Al trying to talk about cocaine, and then he's like, "That's the one thing Feige said is off the table," and then they're talking about all the slang that Feige knows about. I thought that was all right.
Yeah.
But that was something that they put in the trailer, so it's like I already knew the joke. So yeah. And then here's the big one. Vanessa and Wade have a conversation. And Vanessa says that, she got a promotion at her job. Seems all fine. Now she's dating somebody at the moment. And
what? Yeah.
She says the guy is kind and hasn't got her shot yet. With a very so.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Why did you do this, man?
Why? It's like
Sab.
Okay. If you remember in the first two Deadpool movies, Vanessa is really caring of Deadpool because they share the past childhood trauma. They actually care. They actually understand each other for how broken they are. And even after Deadpool faked his death in the first movie and almost got her killed in the third act because technically this is the doing by him, she still forgives him afterwards.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. So, and Vanessa embraced him back, knowing that even though he faked his death and he almost got her killed. That's the first Deadpool movie. And in the second movie, she wants
This
to.
the second movie is just it's so clear. It's like you he you died. He went back in time to save you. But it's like, okay, so just because you save somebody's life. But this isn't like a typical thing like where, oh, you saved my life, that doesn't mean I have to date you. Or anything like that. I get that logic, but even then it's like that doesn't apply because they clearly had a relationship. They talked about wanting to have a baby, things like that. But then obviously some other stuff that you
I mean,
you also want to mention.
yeah, she. Okay, so remember in the first movie, okay, they because in the second movie it's implied they got married. It's kind of weird because like if you want a baby, you guys should have been married already. And so,
Well,
but yeah,
to be fair, you don't have to, but yeah.
it's because the first movie that she actually proposed to her, but whatever. So and then Vanessa said, "Well, at least this guy didn't shot me." Oh, yeah,
Aha!
yeah,
Funny.
funny guys, because because Deadpool is the person who shot you, and not even though he's trying to stop the killer from doing so, and he actually did.
So you watched the Deadpool movies more recently than I have. I'm really going off of memory for the most part. Do you think there's any sensible reason why he would want to be an Avenger from the last two movies, or why he feels like he didn't matter after those last two movies?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
the only
Because
thing,
yeah,
the problem is like there's something going on, but it's like if you attribute it to the last 6 years, he just been down. It's like
yeah.
okay, but that's like 6 years of not knowing what's happened,
I mean,
what
remember
happens, and then it doesn't make any sense.
in Deadpool 2, he is actually just a X-Men trainee, but that's required because in order for him to be on the field, he has to wear this, and he actually gave up on that just to save a kid. So
Yeah,
he doesn't, and now afterwards he just make a team because he needs them to fight that to save the kid, Fire Fist. I mean, sure, I can see that he might need a team, but he is not that, caring when it comes to wanting to be in a team. At least a team that he doesn't make. So even though he will get rejected, which he should be fine and should be able to make his own team, because that's what happened in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, in both one and two, he um, is rejects the right word when he's like when he just acknowledged he's not. I'm not like other heroes, like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like I mean
it is
So
out of
the
nowhere for him
only
to be
thing,
like, I'm gonna be an
so
Avenger.
here's the problem. Like, I feel like the weight of this rejection is bad because of the status of the MCU. Like, and the problem that's kind of the problem with going into meta knowledge. It's like, okay, so it's like I guess you feel really bad because you're not on the team that matters, the Avengers, because to
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
most
It's just
casual
the meta.
audiences, the only universe that really matters for most people when it comes to Marvel is the MCU. So if you were rejected from that sort of meta knowledge is kind of like what's kind of like I guess that's where the severity comes from. It's like when you compare it to the teams that he tried to be the second film, but he just didn't make it. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason, but the problem is like when you rely so much on that meta knowledge of okay, the MCU is the one that people care about and nobody cares about being on a team in the Fox verse. Then it's like, okay, but I still don't really get it.
Yeah,
And that's kind of a problem for the rest of the movie too, because like it tries to use a lot of meta knowledge, metaphors.
It's
In terms of its,
metaphorical.
Yeah, I mean, in the first movie, it's about Deadpool accepting himself. Like, he's fucked up. He's not a good person. He's not an X-Man. He actually kills a lot of people. I was like, so it's the first. Yeah, it's like he's first movie. He's trying to understand what, like, how it, like, how does he matter to someone, and what does it mean by being matter to? And you don't have to be mad. You don't have to matter to everyone. You just have to matter to people who cares about you, like Vanessa.
yeah, and the thing is, like, that's kind of how this movie ends as well. It doesn't matter if you're Marvel Jesus, as long as you're a hero to your friends. That's enough.
Cool.
It's like
you did that.
kind
You
of the
did.
same arc.
You did that in the first movie. You don't get to redo it again.
Yeah, but it's an MCU movie, so it
This is
matters
all-
more.
It's all for the meta stuff. Actual
Yeah.
characterization be damned.
And the second movie, because this is against Deadpool being Deadpool, it's about giving his life for the greater good instead of selfish reasons. Because he at the entire movie he's just want depressed, he just want to die, but at the end he chose to give up his life to save Fire Fist, to save Fire Fist, and that leads to Cable just go back to time and just save Deadpool. And a lot, and then the time the thing people keep referencing Deadpool to happen, time travel shit. So if you want me to believe Deadpool is gonna give up being Deadpool, the second movie is gonna contradict that already.
Yeah. That's the only thing I could really say is like, I think they feel like being rejected by the team that everybody cares about, the Avengers, is like going to be the big thing as to like that's why he's like really sad. But like I still don't really buy that.
No, I completely do not buy that because it goes against the two arcs you
Yeah.
go through for the two movies.
And that's kind of the problem when you rely so much on the meta knowledge on that. Because I'm pretty sure Deadpool. The thing is, like, the first two films like do have like bad examples of like the fourth wall break, but I feel like it's more apparent here because this is an MCU movie. So it's like you can kind of feel like whenever Deadpool is like sucking up to the MCU, it's essentially sucking its own dick. But yeah.
Yep, that's basically it.
Yeah, so yeah, I really don't understand what was the reason.
Yeah, they just
At least he didn't get me shot.
yeah. Isn't that funny?
Look who's gonna forget about that guy in the third act. But okay.
Yep.
But
and
yeah,
they-
Wade. Yeah,
they just ruined Vanessa and Deadpool in just one scene. I love my life. Actually, they ruined Deadpool way before the scene, but Vanessa did it in one scene. Wow.
it's like, dude, it's like Zeb. Can you do something different? Like, it's very clear that this is his writing. I don't need to look at any other writer to know that. In the out of the 5 names.
But of course, someone in the director actually directed. Of course, Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds also approved this. So it's like,
Yeah,
sure?
that too.
So, yeah,
Come
no
on,
one.
guys, please. This is the only thing I'm good at. I'm only good at ruining female characters, guys. Please, just let me do this. Okay, fine,
Oh,
fine, we'll do it.
Okay, sure. You're fired.
I was imagining more like we need to break up Wade and Vanessa. Who do we get? I know just the guy.
I mean, the second movie did that. But
I'm sure his name was Paul too.
Yeah, her new boyfriend. His name was Gary. Should just went all the way, or Jerry.
Yeah,
Should just went all the way. Named her.
it's
Named
not
him
even.
Paul.
I rewatched the movie. It's not, the name's not mentioned in the movie. It just says some guy. He's part German.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's how important he is.
yeah. They just fuck. They just go redo the first movie.
Yeah. So Wade has his birthday speech. He's saying how even though he hasn't seen most of these friends for a while,
A few years.
at least a few years.
My
He's still
question
the
is,
luckiest man alive to have these friends despite these hardships.
why the fuck did you not see them?
So Zeb Wells really made it Deadpool lives miserable. So like what he did to Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yes.
Not
That's
exactly, but like
Well,
it's but yeah.
It's a
You get
very
it.
Most likely.
similar
It's
idea.
very similar.
Yeah, it's but
Paul all over again.
yeah, a few years. What did the Peter's literally your taxi guy? Why do you not see him for a few years? Or your X-Men friends, Colossus, who actually save you after you come in, you blow yourself to bits. Fuck, Blind L, the person he's living with the entire time.
Yeah, that's his roomie. Even with that, it's like, I'm sorry, but like Colossus can't speak up for you either. Like you can't join a team. Colossus can't help you with that. I just find it hard to believe.
Yeah, and of course the worst thing is no one actually checked up on Deadpool, and he doesn't mention like any other friends in the past few movies. So it's like I was watching this. It's like, okay, this is such a nostalgia. You just try to bait something from the last movie, and you didn't commit to it. And what makes it worse, you actually retcon a lot of things in order to make it work, quote unquote work.
Yeah. And then once he blows out the candles, somebody's knocking at the door. And it's the TVA agents. They show up at Wade's door. There is this very long banter about pegging. And so this is kind of my thing that I find really annoying about some of these Deadpool movies is that some of the jokes is just gay. That's it. That's the joke.
I mean, to be honest, most of our joke is there someone's phone?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's yeah, so it's fine. So yeah, I rewatched the two movies. It's like, wait, it's not the one who's making the joke. It's Deadpool who's making the jokes. Wade is a serious guy who just like, I mean, he cracks some jokes, but at the same time, when it comes to these dangers, he stops cracking it. Like for example, when he's facing Ed Skrein in the first movie. I mean, yeah, he cracks a few in the beginning, but when shit goes down, he just like, yeah, well, let me out. I'll beat the fuck out of you. Something like this.
Yeah, but pegging is funny.
Yeah, he just like, I gave up being Deadpool for 6 years. Some people are gonna arrest me. So it's like, yeah, you didn't sense the danger for some reason.
And then even with this, it's like he knows like things about the MCU, like a particular character showed up in Loki season 1, episode 5. Okay, you know about Loki, so you should know about the TVA agents in that sense.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the problem with like meta characters in general. It's like when you put so much like meta knowledge into it, then you have to start questioning. Okay, what do you not know, or how do you not know this because of your meta knowledge? So it's like it's always something that you kind of have to answer, or you have to be a little bit careful about how much goes into it without being too much in that sense.
How did he find about Earth 616 for the Avengers?
He watched Multiverse of Madness.
Absurd. I'm sorry for him.
He's an MCU fanboy.
Don't remember he actually references the MCU many times in the first two movies.
Yeah,
that were
that's right. Yeah.
I still find it ridiculous, but yeah. So they rip his. So somebody opens the time door behind Wade, and then he's sent to the TVA. So there's this weird thing. They show the shot where they rip the wig off, and it's on the ground, and they focus on it. It makes you think like, oh, maybe one of his friends is going to notice it and then try to look for Wade because he seemed to have disappeared. But no, that doesn't happen at all. So I wonder why they bothered to show the wig shot the entire time. And then another thing too, it's like, the TVA used to reset time to clean up crime scenes. That's not done either.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
Remember? Okay.
I can only imagine how quickly Deadpool would have gotten Vanessa in Deadpool 1 if he opened with, "I'm an expert at not getting you shot. Kiss me now."
Yep. So yeah, but he got kidnapped by TVA. Nice.
Pretty easily, I might add.
Yeah, it's like, you're Deadpool. What the fuck?
I mean, they I guess and the TVA forgot what they did here later, for the fight in the snow.
Yeah. So yeah, he's in the TVA interrogation room, but he's not a prisoner, so I guess he doesn't go through that long process of prisoner thing that Loki had to go through in episode
Yeah,
one.
the mock trial where it's like
Yeah.
you're guilty.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So Mr. Paradox, who is
Okay,
who's an original
but-
character, not a
No.
comic character, from what I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But even still, I was like, you should put a time collar on him. That is procedure when you arrest someone.
So here's the thing. He says he's not under arrest. I think it's like a weird thing to do, though. It's like if you have this visualization of like him knocked out in an interrogation table, it's not really encouraging to let me know that if he's a prisoner or not. I guess that's kind of the point, because one of the things they talk about is, so here's a few things. Mr. Paradox tells Wade that we're in the TVA, they're the watchdog organizations, and how they're in charge of defending the secret timeline. So, Deadpool has a joke saying, like, this is a lot of exposition for a threequel. I guess, like, just in case for those who didn't watch Loki, if you watched Loki, this isn't very helpful for you.
No.
So he asks, like, if he's here because of using Cable's time machine, he only used it to bring people back to life, and then destroyed it 6 years ago. And so here's my thing. Okay, so you have Cable's time machine, and you break it. Okay, and then this is my other thing too. It's like, one, I really hate the TVA being multiversal. That is just something like, I'm not going to go too much like comic side or anything like that. Even though
because we also did a stream for Loki season 2, so if you want to go,
we talked about it before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but making it multiversal, like they know what Wade did in Deadpool 2, basically, about going through the multiverse and or going through the timeline and messing things up. But even then, he says like that's not. Yeah, he says like you messed up a lot. You really fucked your timeline, but that really doesn't matter, man, because we want you for something else. So cool. I guess it's like Endgame. Then Deadpool gets to do his time shenanigans just fine, because
reminded me of I'm not here about what happened in Westview.
Yeah, the Sacred Jedi text.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Cable's time machine is kind of like can travel the multiverse.
Because universe timelines it's all the same.
Yeah, that's I think that's mainly it. And then which will be a prevailing problem if we with the common as we move forward. Yeah, pretty much. If you scrap Wade retiring from Deadpool and Vanessa leaving him, you can make the movie good while keeping the general story we got. So it's really dependent, man, because like
it's a lot more, because there's a
lot of reliance on like specific characters that are introduced in this movie, which we'll get to.
Yeah, and it's like even if he doesn't laugh Vanessa, it's like he also retired as a superhero because of Avenger shit, which is also out of character as hell.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like this is kind of like the only characterization that Deadpool really has. It's pretty much anything that was in the first act. That's just pretty much it for his character.
Yeah,
I mean, you have things going on, but like really, a lot of the focuses on Wolverine in this movie, and Deadpool's like things is just kind of like things just happen to work out for him in the end, even though he didn't really do anything super special.
I mean,
to deserve it, but like, yeah.
I mean, if I want to make a movie, I was like, I'll probably just start the movie. If I try to make it like this, I was like, I would just probably just have them suffering from, because Deadpool and Vanessa, one of them used to be a stripper, so he has a device that makes him unable to get pregnant, and Deadpool is a what's it called, mutant. So they get this. They have a baby, but the baby died of what's it called? Being unpregnant. What's the term for it?
Miscarriage.
Premature miscarriage.
Miscarriage, yeah. Died of miscarriage. And then you gotta love depressing stuff if you want to do that. He died of the miscarriage. you got to keep the Deadpool doesn't have a baby in the comics, and you got to keep the depressing stuff he's going through.
Yeah,
So
I could see that.
yeah, if you want to keep it in line with the second movie, because the second movie they actually want to have the baby, and he actually names it already. So it's like
Yeah, it's kind of wild out. You don't really get this at all in this movie, and it's like, oh, it happened 6 years later. I mean, yeah, but like you can reference something that happened 6 years ago, something like this.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm not really. It's a really weird thing.
yeah, that's what I would change if instead of just break up for Avengers reason.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Mr. Paradox says that even though Deadpool really destroyed that stuff, it doesn't really matter because they need him for some other reason. So Mr. Paradox says he brought Wade here because he is going to be an important piece for the entire sacred timeline from a possible grisly fate in the future that he will need the help to avenge. So yeah, basically it doesn't matter about if you're a variant or from a different universe than the MCU. As long as the fans want you, you will be in the MCU movie in the like this is basically a predetermined future.
I
He's
love
gonna
my life.
he's gonna be an important character for I guess Secret Wars or whatever that shot of where Thor's holding Deadpool's corpse or dying corpse basically like because it's a repurposed shot from Thor Dark World, so of course they didn't film it. Yeah, so he's going to be important in the MCU, so that's why we need you now.
Hmm.
Why?
The,
Yeah,
this is what the TVA has too much like they're like gods. Like everything is determined for you. You're gonna do this. I mean, of course, Deadpool is fine with that because he wants to be an Avenger and all. Cool, whatever. But like, there really is no like. So Deadpool being in the MCU is not going to be an incursion, I guess, because it's
because they don't know what
predetermined.
those are.
They don't know what that is. Yeah.
No, but like somehow the TVA doesn't know what an incursion is. So it's like, oh well. And the second thing is, why the fuck we hire Deadpool? If you want to do it, if you want someone to do a job.
Yes, Die, but Vanessa's hot. That's the difference. So it's not
Yeah,
gonna. Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Uh,
we just
yeah.
want they want you in the future. Low. Oh fuck. No, let's not get Thanos to do your work.
Yeah. Mr. Paradox says that they've been watching this Wade variant for a while, and they could see him being a potential important hero moving forward. And
But
then, yeah.
didn't this guy stop being Deadpool for 6 years?
Yeah, why are you doing this now in 2024? Why couldn't you do this back in 2018?
Yeah.
What did he do now
Yeah,
that
I
makes
know.
you think he's super important? And that's kind of
I-
my thing
I don't
too.
know.
It's like there really is no justification as to why it's because we're in 2024 now, so we just gotta move things across. Or it's like you have to think in the context of like, okay, it takes a while to make a movie, so you just kind of have to skip through the time until it's the next year or the next whenever it is.
I mean, they didn't age a bit, but you can actually take place right after Deadpool 2. But oh well.
One of the higher ups of the TVA learned Deadpool being put in the MCU since he is not from that universe.
They
So the thing is like, so there's two things here. One is like there is some truth to it because as Paradox showed that he is important for the future. But on the other hand, it's like there is this thing
Right,
that
for
apparently the
some reason.
supervisors don't even know they're trying to talk to Deadpool right now.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
something that we'll talk about later. So there's like a few contradictions going on here and there.
And
I'm
by the
I'm not
way,
really sure what they're going for, and it happens a lot in this movie, by the way.
yeah, and let's go back to the camera stuff.
Yeah,
Why would the TV need to do that? They are literally just multi-celestial beings who can just see the fucking MCU through that high tech skies, heaven dimension shit.
This
He
is
does, they don't need a camera person.
it's also bizarre because like this is what Feige was, Kevin in She-Hulk.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the robot.
Yeah, the robot Kevin in She-Hulk. The TVA has the exact same setup too. So it's like, okay, then who is the superior being?
Well,
It's got to
the
be Kevin.
TV don't know about Kevin, I
The
guess.
TVA can't know about Kevin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they know about everything in the MCU just like Kevin. I don't know. It's just
Layers upon layers of
they just keep
overseers.
creeping up these like powers for like the TVA to have. That just makes no sense. The more they keep doing things,
Yeah. I mean, TVA doesn't even act like TVA in
It's
the
like-
two Loki movies.
it's like bad anime where it's like the power creeps just get crazier and crazier. Episode by episode or like season by season. Yeah, it's pretty much the MCU nowadays.
Yep. And it's asking them to act like previous stuff. It's like asking them to die.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Final Fantasy VII remake.
We never played the game, so I'm not gonna comment on that.
So Paradox also said that Wade was not supposed to see the Thor future. So now that's like something that's in Wade's head, but it doesn't really bother him either. He just references it from time to time, but it's not really a big deal. But yeah, so Paradox says that he knows that Wade was rejected 6 years ago by the Avengers. Of course he does, because he is not ready, and they believe that he is ready now to leave his timeline. So what did he do in 6 years that makes you think he's ready now?
Being a depressed car salesman.
loser.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe just sell a bit more houses or cars, maybe.
Yeah, so then here it's like, so Paradox is like, like now he should leave his timeline and join the greatest universe of all. So yes, remember this is an MCU production calling itself the greatest universe of all. And this is not a fourth
probably-
wall breaker. This is Paradox saying this line.
It's probably meant to be like a joke, self-indulgent, but it still just feels just like
Suck my
masturbatory.
dick, yeah.
They want it to be in the sacred timeline. So like, I did just say the sacred timeline with dipshit instead of the greatest universe of all. Honestly,
I'd accept that.
Because it's the meta theme that
The MCU
other
matters.
that the other movies don't matter what the MCU does, but then he learns to matter himself, whatever.
Anyway, yeah.
to be honest, if you've seen What If season 2, it's like this MCU kind of sucks because like every universe is able to kill Thanos so easily.
See, the
Aside from
thing
the
is,
MCU.
the thing is, Deadpool's going to mention that, like in the third act. So we'll get
Sure.
to that. We'll get to that. Yeah. So Wade is very happy about doing this. He does a fourth wall break where he grabs a boom. button.
Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I appreciate
Mm.
it. Yeah. So Wade gets tailored into a new costume with adamantium katanas, and then Paradox sends him.
Wait, and guns.
and
Remember,
guns.
a PV doesn't use guns for some reason. So they have guns apparently.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. TVA doesn't use guns, but they give Deadpool his guns, or his tailor that's predatory does it for him. I don't know.
Hey,
how it works.
It's just saying if you actually have TV use adamantium bullets, that's make them a bit more intimidating in the last two Loki shows and this one.
Yeah, and I mentioned this before. The TVA have like guns, like laser guns in the comics. So yeah, I like the Disney World line. The best way that could make the multiverse Deadpool story work is to kill off the TVA and replace them with an organization that's much less confusing and plot breaking.
Yep, basically.
Clearly, guns are better than batons are better than guns, of course. Again, you can make the baton shoot lasers. There's no rule saying you can't do that.
Oh, like the Black Panther spears in Infinity War.
Like Black Panther, yeah, exactly. And then I don't think they ever do that again.
Of course
I
not.
don't
It's in the
remember.
movie.
No.
No, because Wakanda Forever has to retcon that shit for some reason. Because not
Yeah.
traditional enough, I guess.
Yeah. So so basically Wade is like, now that I got my new costume, just take me back home and let me tell the friends that they're getting upgraded. And then Paradox is like, I don't think you understand. You're not gonna be able to go home because it's not going to exist soon.
Come again? This time in my ears.
Yeah.
I know humor's subjective, but that got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Paradox explains that Wade's universe is decaying because their anchor being, an entity of
Oh.
vital importance, that when they die, their whole world withers out of existence, has already died.
My God, why? Okay, my first question already. Ignore the anchor being shit. Why do you tell Deadpool all of this?
They need a movie.
That's true.
Yeah, instead of just saying, "Oh, actually, don't worry about it. We gotta help you in the same. We gotta bring
Like
your friends
the
to
thing
a
is, like
universe."
Paradox tries to lie all the time in the movie. So I really don't understand like why he needed to be honest about this.
No,
Like,
just
there
say,
was a way to lie about like, oh, it's like you can come and not your friends because of this reason. Even if it's
or,
not the exact reason, it's like they wouldn't be able to survive in
or
the
yeah,
in the sacred timeline.
or just say that oh yeah, we gotta bring your friends. Don't worry about it. Just help us do your job. We gotta do it later.
Or they actually are, meant to be you know, they might
Yeah.
cause an incursion. You could have at
There's-
least said that.
Oh,
We can't do that.
yeah, there's really no reason why you couldn't bring the friends.
Yeah, Nexus being all over again, but worse. So the Nexus being is like, so
Well,
this is something from the comics, but like I don't think the MCU has done a good job explaining it. Nexus beings are basically like a powerful entity that is kind of like consistent in the multiverse, but like so you have like characters who have like such a high level of power level. Um, it's kind of a few things like to mention about that, but like that's like something that's actually you could kind of talk about for absolute beings or anchor beings. It's like the problem is like it's literally so let's use our meta knowledge again. For the last 24 years, who is the X-Man that people like to talk about?
Wolverine.
Yay! Of
It's
course.
clearly Cyclops.
No, no. It's Storm. Duh.
Yeah. So it's like making an anchor being is like, oh, the most important person in your universe, the Wolverine has died. So it's like, oh, so it's another way to suck his dick.
Yeah, it's meta.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
it? Because once Wolverine died, people stopped caring, aka the universe died.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I
we
love.
make it a real point in universe.
Yeah,
Which is
rewatch
weird
Logan.
because Deadpool 2 came out after Logan.
And by the way, if you remember Deadpool 2, the first scene, it's basically showing that Deadpool knows that Logan died. He got his heart
Yeah.
stabbed by a breach tree branch. That's the first shot of Deadpool 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you fucked that up already.
Yeah. So here's the other thing too. So obviously they do a dramatic reveal about Logan is the one that was their anchor being in the universe. You see everybody emotional. You see Paradox quoting Logan's last words. So yeah, it's a lot of meat riding.
Yeah,
I
I
get
guess
it. I
Deadpool's
get it. It's a
world.
great film, man. But like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I guess
What?
Deadpool's universe started when Logan was born.
Yeah, anchor beings, man. It's like I'm sure they will
That's
remember
that's the thing that really doesn't make sense. It's like, so what about this time before the character was born? That's the thing, man. It's like when you start to make one person in this universe is super important, you really lose all credibility in everything. It's like, like obviously they can't. They're not going to do this with the MCU. They're not going to say, "Oh, this is the anchor being of the MCU. Now the characters died. We're waiting for 2,000 years until the universe withers away." And then again, they also use the 2,000-year rule, so like they can just say, "Oh, see, there's still plenty of time before the world explodes or before something happens where the universe is
Or they're
going to
banking.
implode one day." I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so he just like, oh, because you're anchor beings. Oh, the universe gonna die in 2,000 years. Okay, cool. I do not believe a second the future MCU starts gonna remember that.
Yeah, so if Logan takes place in the same universe as the Deadpool movies, it doesn't make sense to the Colossus and the X-Mansion shouldn't be able to exist due to food poisoning of the mutant gene.
Oh yeah, fuck. I didn't
Yeah,
remember.
so
This is what I'm
whatever.
gonna mention
This is
later.
something that Days of Future Past is kind of like a weird thing. It kind of like reset everything, but it also didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Logan.
Deadpool is like a big example of this.
Yeah. Oh, so in the first two Deadpool movies, I was like, it's there's a leeway because it's not entirely confirmed when it's Logan. The Deadpool movies takes place inside the Logan universe because Logan is already a separate universe. So timeline, as the Fox call it. So it's like there's a bit of leeway, and this movie just like actually Logan takes place in the universe. Fuck. Because in the last 25 years, they say there's no mutant being produced because they poison the water, and the government are actively hunting mutants. Well, not actively, but like there's a lot of hunting going on.
2029 as well, when Logan takes place.
Yeah.
5 years, but 5 years after the Deadpool this movie,
And
and you're
Deadpool seems to be taking place in 2024.
yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 was 2018. And remember the cameo from the other X-Men, and it was the younger ones?
Yeah, that's the thing. And the younger ones are. Yeah, that's the thing. Days of Future Past, they kind of like go back and forth on where and when it is, even though they say in the prequel films that this is the 60s, this is the 70s, this is the 80s, this is the 90s.
And
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 they
also,
never age in those either.
to be fair, in Deadpool 2, they have a joke of they show like James McAvoy as Charles,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
the guy from Ready Player One as Cyclops, and
Yeah,
they
they
have
have the younger cast.
yeah, in 2018.
And now we know it's 2018. So I guess they didn't plan to.
Ralph Boner. Don't forget
Oh,
about
right,
him.
yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Kind of an anecdote. When a friend of mine asked who the Fantastic actor
Fantastic.
was, I told him it's Dr. Doom because we didn't see the gang. You
Yeah, their universe died right before he could say that again.
know, I really wish. Yeah, I would like Miles Teller back as the Maker. That would be really cool if they were to ever do that. That's a multiverse thing that I would
Yeah.
like, not Doctor
but
Doom played by Robert Downey Jr.
He'll be killed in one scene,
Yep.
as with the track record of Fantastic Four cameos so far. Well, not like one scene, like after like a few minutes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so Mr. Paradox says that most universe dies off like after a couple thousand years after their anchor has died. So Wade is like okay with that, which is like, I guess it's kind of fair. 2,000 years later, my friends will die eventually, and then it won't really matter. But then Paradox is like, but I want to speed this up. And then that's why Wade is like not happy with this, which is fair.
I mean,
So
to
this
be
is-
honest,
so this
even
is-
that I was like, okay, do you want to save Logan's life even if that's the case? He's gonna die 5 years later.
So the thing is, like, he says that he's already dead because they're using the footage of Logan. Again, like, so that's kind of my thing about the TVA is like meta cameras that they could pretty much see the movies like we
Yeah,
do as an
but
audience.
yeah, it's so weird
At
because
least like Feige is like outside of time and space, but like in the real world, like, but even though I don't like that either.
oh, it's
But, like,
horrible.
yeah, but I mean, at least like there's like some semblance of like, okay, so this is taking place outside in our world. So at least like there could be some conversation. But like the TVA is in the MCU. You just can't avoid. You can't just make them on the level of Kevin. That's
No,
impossible.
and they just like, oh, you actually retcon the fact. It's like, oh, he's gonna die in 2008. It's like, dude, Logan takes place in 2009, 2029. Deadpool, this movie, it's 2024. Why the fuck are you saying your universe is dying? That doesn't make any sense. Deadpool knows that there's 5 years. He could have done something to save Wolverine the entire time. This is not. He shouldn't be like, yeah, whatever.
But the thing is, like his death has already happened in the future. Like even if you see that future events, it's like that's already happened. Again, it's that predeterminism thing,
But
which is
not a thing.
Yeah, I forget. Did the TV like see, like, did they see the timeline events in quote unquote real time,
yes.
or do they always know all events that are going to happen in a timeline? Because if that's the case, don't they know that are all of them already dying?
Yeah, that's, to be honest, he just raised like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but the sacred timeline will keep going because it's the greatest universe of all.
yeah, because it's like, if that's the case, every universe should be just saying, yeah, it's dying because it's gonna die in the future, I guess. Well, your future, I guess. It's like, okay, and that's a thing. Anchor Being is also not never mentioned in 2 seasons of Loki. You think this is significant? It's like, oh fuck, the universe is gonna die.
Which honestly, it's like this goes back to the meta commentary too. It's like it makes sense. I'm only going to say it just for like the sake of a conversation. It makes sense to have an anchor being quote unquote for like this universe because it's a branch line, and everybody likes to suck Logan's dick. This movie also sucks his dick, so it's like, okay. I mean, I see this, but like even then, it's like one. I don't like you confirming that in canon that no characters matter except for Logan, even in your own movie. Like that's like really, I don't know. That's just disrespectful to everything related to your franchise. And that's just disrespectful to like a lot of the characters that you have in the movie that people could like, but it's your fault as the Fox company for focusing so much on Logan. So I'm not going to accept like you accepting that, yeah, Logan was just our anchor being for this universe. Fuck off. And then two, with these examples, like I mean, with Logan's example, he is from the sacred timeline, so I guess they're trying not to indicate who is the anchor being of the MCU, because otherwise that kind of makes a lot of problems. Obviously, people are theorizing who it is. People are saying it's going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
No, because even though it's clear that they never cared, it's like there's no rules to just say who is the anchor being. It could be just Bob the Builder, for all we know.
It could be a housefly.
Yeah, it's like this. It's just no, everyone's coming up with theories, but it's just like, yeah, it's not. It's gonna be wasteful if you're asking me.
Who knows if they'll even do this plot point again?
Yeah, and it's like
It's probably just for the meta.
I mean, people don't even remember there's a thing called absolute point.
Yeah, which is
I
also
mean,
stupid.
which
Yeah,
show
they're called canon events now.
Oh no, that's absolute points in What Ifs, episode
Yeah.
4.
And then canon events is in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reason why Paradox wants the universe to die faster rather than waiting for 2,000 years is because Paradox is tasked to watch over Wade's universe, but he doesn't want to waste his life watching a universe die slowly of natural causes. They used to prune the dying universes in one swoop as it was efficient, but the TVA changed this policy once B-15 got in a position of power, and that allows the branch timelines to live on until their end.
Wait. Well, what the fuck would B-15 change that policy?
I actually like this change, to be honest, because like honestly, the thing about the branching timelines is like you still have like I mean, it's all on like ethics. Like, do you want to like let a timeline just die off, especially since like Loki is now the god of stories? I can at least
what does Tree Loki have to say about timelines dying?
That's the thing as well. It's like, which again, I don't like it. It's just like I understand this change. It's like, you know, I guess it's fair to let a timeline go through its course, like go through its life, rather than just pruning it off because we deem it necessary to do that. And I can also, this is something that I talked about in season 2 breakdown. Like I could see this, like after the brainwash is gone, some characters do not want to prune a timeline. Some people like the old ways and they want to go back to the old ways, even though they were brainwashed. So it's like, yeah, I could see this like having this disdain of preferring the old methods, even though the brainwash has ended. Like I could see this being a possibility, and then I could see like Paradox wanting to accelerate a death because they can't prune timelines anymore.
I mean, and they were because you noted it down. Do you remember why the Paradox doesn't want to doesn't want to prune timelines?
Well, he doesn't want to wait for
Doesn't
2,000
wanna-
years.
What the fuck? That's the reason. Is I'm tired of waiting to do my job.
Yeah, Jaxpo, we did a review on that in 2023. I put it as my overrated movie of the year.
Yeah, we did not like that movie. So fuck.
Mm-mm.
To be
I
fair,
know Beyond is going to have a lot to work with, and I
I
know it's
remember when that movie was already supposed to be out.
yeah.
and by the way, if you remember Spider-Verse, that's like like 2019 Spider-Man. It's watching over the multiverse as well. So it's like he just did nothing for when Universe destroyed.
Yeah, it gets really difficult. There's too many multiverse things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's like like B-50 was like, yeah, let's change policy. It was like, oh fuck, how do you get that rank again? You get to that rank again. They just like, yeah, she just did.
I mean, they had this in the end of season 2, where she is like in a position of power now. Wants to make things different now that the TVA can be a little bit better, especially after Mobius retires. Again, it's like these are the kind of things like, okay, I could see this being an idea. I don't like how they've handled the TVA at all, by the way, but like I could see this like having some. I could see this being a direction that you could take with like management, how you would want to deal with this, how you can possibly improve things. But like I think it's weird because you're going from season 2 of Loki to Deadpool 3, things that don't correlate at all, except for the TVA just exist in both of them. And
Yeah,
then it's like I feel like it's like lore building that could be interesting to talk about, but like you just can't do it in this movie because they don't have time for it.
and they have to introduce anchor beings for this shit. It was like, oh, how do universe die? It was like, oh, your person died, so it died like this. Fuck off. That's never a thing.
Yeah.
And you think that in like the first 2 seasons, anchor beings should be mentioned. It was like, oh, there's a thing called anchor beings, actually, blah blah blah, and they can speed it up if you just kill people from across the multiverse.
So in season 1, I would say no because they used to just prune all these branch lines anyway. So there's supposed to only be one secret timeline and no branches. So I could see not mentioning an anchor being because anchor beings only apply to branching timelines. Season 2, though, they allow the branches to exist. So there should be some anchor beings going out of there, but guess not.
Yeah, no, it's like, and season 2 of Loki, you just keep questioning, like, well, how the fuck do you get anchor beings here? Just like, how do you have the like web of lies, whatever that shit is, and then across the Spider-Verse? It's a lot of questions that never get answered.
Yeah, so Paradox wants to embrace being the mercy killer as he does not believe there's any reason to babysit branching timelines that are dying. So he creates a time ripper to destroy Wade's universe faster. This is a universe that has time bombs, by the way, but that achieve the exact same thing and much efficiently, but
I mean, they're also
they were either destroyed or confiscating, or we don't know.
And do you remember season 2, episode 2? They literally have a device that can destroy like 40% of the universe, the multiverse.
That was the bombs, yeah.
Yeah, they can upgrade the bombs instead of just this thing. And it's like, and the other thing is, how can you do this without your higher ups noticing that? They literally see everything.
Yeah, but they can't see itself.
That's
That's the thing that this film kind of confirms.
Isn't that lovely?
Maybe don't have humans in charge, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
and it's like, and by the way, it's like, do you know what this Paradox do? Is basically just trying to get fired. Imagine you're a manager of the not manager of the one of the managers of this big company, and you're like, oh fuck, I want to do this against my company's will. You see, my company wants to make money. I want to burn money. So I'm gonna burn the money faster. And that's how I will get a promotion. Because I burn the money faster.
Yeah. So it's
Imagine-
like it's a motivation that I can see making sense. It's just like I think it's too much for this movie to go through, especially since like they clearly don't care about the TVA. And like but that's kind of like the problem with like villains in general nowadays.
yeah.
They clearly just don't care about. But the thing is, like, the TVA is another problem because it's an organization, an established organization. So you have somebody who's trying to go rogue, and you don't really focus on that or like how does the TVA react to somebody that is going rogue, and then it just kind of resolves itself in the end. But yeah, like there's just a lot of issues like that in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wade, he takes off his mask. You know, he's upset to Paradox. He gets closer to Paradox, by the way, so keep that in mind. You know, you're gonna old yeller my universe. He said, you know, you can go back to your universe and die with your friends in 3 days, or just join the sacred timeline, and then you
3 days? What the fuck?
leave your insignificance and mediocrity. The movie never questions why his friends just can't go with him to the sacred timeline.
No, he just because
The
they only
persons are never mentioned or suggested in this film at all.
no the only explanation is this guy's an asshole, so that's why.
Yeah. So Deadpool says he's going to look for a Wolverine. He breaks Paradox's nose. Again, remember, Deadpool just walks up to him just fine.
Oh no.
Breaks the nose, knocks the time pad out of his hands, and then uses the temp pad to escape.
If only you have the time loop thing in the first episode of Loki. That would be better.
Yeah. So then it cuts back to the opening scene of the movie, where he went back to the original Logan timeline in his own universe. It's never explained why Wade couldn't just go back in time before Logan died, as it seemed like
Yeah, he wasn't
hoping that Logan would have regenerated since he shouldn't actually have died.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't just go
it's
to
like-
his still alive Logan this time, because Logan's 5 years in the future.
And again, it could be an absolute point, but then again, like they don't explain that.
Well, they don't.
It's also using what if as well. As
yeah,
canon.
they never care about what if, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mostly because Deadpool clearly doesn't care about going back in time and changing events so people don't die.
I mean, and in this case, it's actually quite noble for him just save Logan's life, so he can just go live with X-23. It's not even like morally. It's not even like morally questionable. This is literally a good thing if you actually save Logan.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, like, I feel like it should have big ramifications. It's just that you don't see him try it, so it's like, how am I supposed to know if it's like good or not? But I don't know. It feels like something that will have like a major ramifications if you stop Logan from dying. Oh, right. This was a line that he said. The absolute being, Logan is the absolute being because he did a self-sacrifice moment that was so epic, his words, so epic that it put a ripple into the rest of your timeline. That's why the absolute being happened.
So that you forgot.
I guess if Wolverine died selfishly, then he wouldn't be the absolute being.
Wait, so it made him the anchor point at his death so that the universe can then end.
I'm sorry. That's
in 2,000 years.
That's fucking nonsense because that's meta knowledge. If you actually go from frequency, you literally Dark Phoenix. Jean Grey sacrificed herself to save the fucking world. Actually, not the world, the fucking galaxy from the Dark Phoenix. That's actually more noble when it comes to saving things.
See, my other thing too is like I kind of agree with it in a small degree. It's like, yeah, I do think like if you cut out this time travel stuff, like going back to Logan's corpse and like using it as a weapon against the TVA, is like at least that will give you some. Well, at least you're not desecrating a grave and all that stuff. Just focus on the multiverse. At least I can tolerate it better. But like the fact that he did this and it's like, dude, he's dead. Just let him die and just find a different Logan, man. That's what you said you wanted to do anyway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go and find another Logan. That's what he says. So why'd you go back to your timeline, but where Logan is already dead? That's the thing that doesn't make sense.
And he also wasted his time just talking to the skeleton. It was like, dude, you have a time, but just jump already. But no, we got drag this fight scene. Let's just have him dig up the grave, see that is he dead or not, have a conversation, fight the
We need to
TVA.
wait for the TVA agents to fight him.
I love my life.
Yeah. It's also stated that Deadpool messing with time to have people live doesn't really have like it has no consequences for him. But like I guess you could argue that maybe if you save Logan, it will have a bigger consequence than saving your X-Force friends. But like it's worth a shot, man. If you're not gonna try.
I mean, he also saved them, but he has that. He said he let them down, but he also saved them. So it's like the movie doesn't even know what the fuck are they talking about.
Yeah. So here Deadpool is using Logan's claws to fight. It's not explained why he needed the bones for this fight scene to begin with when he has adamantium weapons. There's this one TVA agent who's like really, really bad at acting. And he was saying like how Deadpool ruined a great hero that was Logan, and Deadpool was the worst hero to come out of Canada. Then Deadpool uses katana to kill the TVA agent and then tells him to get his country out his fucking mouth.
It's Will Smith reference.
Yeah, but it's Deadpool from Canada.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
I mean, in the movie, I need to remember that.
No, he is.
Really?
Ryan Reynolds is also from Canada.
Oh shit! I did not know that. So
Wolverine is from Canada, though. But yeah.
No. Yeah.
I think not.
No. Yeah. He is from Canada. Yeah, you're right. I just checked. Oh, so
So I rewatched the movie. I don't think he doesn't talk about the laws of physics in the multiverse. He talks about the laws of physics of matter and antimatter in the third act, which is that is true.
No, that's nothing wrong about that one. Matter and antimatter.
It didn't have anything to do with the multiverse relating to the laws of physics.
Good. Don't worry, we do our home. We watch a lot of things just before we do this podcast. Holy shit! We find out a lot of problems.
Yeah. Deadpool says he's gonna find a new Logan, a live one, and then cue the montage scene where he goes across the multiverse to see different Logans. So here we go. That's all right, Sty.
First one.
I had to check to make sure, but like, yeah, I was able to confirm that. So I'm a fan casting guy. If anybody knows my YouTube channel, Red Devilos Reviews. So the first cameo was a Logan variant who is short, but he is not, the 5'3" short king like Deadpool says. He's much shorter than that. Like he's like 3'6" at best.
I mean, it's like Bilbo from the Hobbit movie. It was like, that's basically your size.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew this was gonna happen, man. It's like I expected them to do a short Logan joke, because it's super easy to do that. But like the fact that he's like smaller, like you don't even give him a chance to at least be a reasonable height. And then it's like you have Deadpool talking to him. It's like, oh, look at this comic accurate short king talking to him like a baby. And then he's like, he's not even worthy to fight. So it's like he goes back into the time pad.
Even then, I was like,
I really hate that.
That's so stupid because like, oh, you're so cute. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Do you remember how you treated Negasonic's Teenage Warhead?
And then she proved you wrong.
Yeah,
it's weird because of how also because like they celebrate how Wolverine's wearing the suit, something that the fans have wanted. only to also make fun of something else the fans want, to have him be
Yeah,
short.
yeah, and again, it's like it's some people just don't really understand why people have wanted Wolverine to be short. Wolverine is like short, and a lot of it is one, Wolverines are known. The animal is like known to fight much bigger animals.
Mhm.
That's it has like that feral nature that like no matter who he's going up against or what it's going up against, he will do whatever it takes to win. So it's like there's that, and then secondly, it's just kind of interesting seeing such a like somebody who's short, but he takes up big giants like Sabretooth and Omega Red and such. I don't know. It's like that's just something that people really like. It's that underdog nature. Like he's smaller than Cyclops as well, and not taller than him, like in the Foxverse.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, things like that.
even that was like, dude, do you know how not short 5'3" is? You can literally just go to your friend group. It's like, yeah, you're 5'3", and how short do you think she is? It's like, actually, it's not that short. Like, it's
Or
actually
just
quite.
go to a swimming pool, and then like if you drown in 5 feet, then you're probably shorter than that.
Yeah, it's like 5'3" is not really that short. I'm sorry, and you just make a joke about it. It's like okay, just say that you're short. Ha 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 ha. Don't say that you're comic accurate. That's it. And no one's gonna connect that to you're making fun of the comics.
Or the fans who wanted somebody in that size. And I it's like okay, fine, you do this, but then there's another cameo that happens later, which makes me more angry as to why they do that, and we'll get to that. But the second variant is Omega Red, which is the one that had one hand, the unkempt mane of hair. It's inspired by the Age of Apocalypse storyline, where the world is probably under siege by Apocalypse. So that's another reference. The third Logan variant is Patch, a secret identity Logan uses when he goes undercover with the white business suit, and Eye Patch whenever he goes to the seedier corners of the Marvel comics. He's playing cards. He could be doing that in Madripoor, like in the comics, but it's not very clear, or it's not really necessary to confirm that. It's a new cameo.
Oh,
The fourth. Oh, go ahead.
oh shit, no, that's what I'm gonna talk about. Style just say that. In
Oh,
that, yeah, it's like yeah, everyone just like, oh, here's a portal. Okay, we're not even gonna acknowledge there's a portal inside. It's like it's so weird because every camera is like, wait, what the fuck is that portal? And no one just reacts to it. That's what the
yeah.
first thing I noticed about it.
That's one. There's some where they are alone, so it's like okay, and then I guess like Wolverine is just cool with it. I guess, but like I've seen weirder shit over my 200 years. Fair enough, but what about the people in those scenes? Yeah, that's kind of questionable. And the fact that the TVA have to prune all these universes that Deadpool keeps hopping to and from.
I don't think that's how they work now.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. But like, I don't know how prunings work because like it seems to work like in the time that somebody was there, but then it also like goes away quickly. But yeah. Yeah, and then the fourth Logan variant is the one that I really had an issue with, which was so, Deadpool starts sucking its dick because it's finally, he's tall, he's got muscles, he's working on a motorcycle. What a cool guy. And then, it kind of looks like Henry Cavill. And then he turns around. It is Henry Cavill.
Oh my god.
Yay, I'm happy.
Yeah, and then so here's why I hate it. Deadpool comments about for half of humanity would love this casting because it just seems to be so right, and that's fuck you, man. I don't know. Yes, we need another 6'3" Wolverine. And it's like, oh, that just makes it so right because he just looks so much like you, and that's all that matters, really. Fuck off.
To be honest, I just think they just like I just think they just do that because they're like, I want to call him the Cavalry. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and it's like honestly, it's kind of like a dumb cameo in that sense. Like, wow, now Cavill's just the cameo guy, including in DC.
Yeah, he's like, we'll treat you better than the assholes down the street. Obviously referring to DC, but it's like, you really didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you saw him. He did the thing where he opens the claws like the fists, and
Yeah, he did the arm reload Mission Impossible thing.
he did the
Didn't
thing.
you,
I
Clark?
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. I guess Daniel Radcliffe and Taron Egerton were like just so ridiculous. Who would want to see 5'5" actors play Wolverine?
No,
You want to see
yeah,
a 6'3" Wolverine, right? Just like Henry
yeah.
Cavill. Yeah,
And
yeah.
the entire time Deadpool just like, oh fuck. By the way, can you come to my universe, please? Because my universe is dying and shit. He doesn't really try that.
Yeah, no, he's just too busy saying that. Yeah, Marvel will treat you right. That's all he's really talking about. And then every Wolverine is like stabbing Deadpool, like no matter what he says, like yeah. But
Like for some reason.
and then it's kind of annoying too because like I go back and think about like John Krasinski's Reed Richards, and then how he was handled. Like he barely gets to act like Reed Richards, and that's just I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he could play Reed Richards, but I just feel like he didn't really get to do anything that shows you Reed. Cavill at least does something that's like related to Wolverine in this scene. And another cameo that happens later in this movie, another Fantastic Four member, he does something related to the character at some capacity.
I mean,
But Reed doesn't really do that except stretch one thing and then dies by spaghetti. But yeah,
uh,
I mean,
some
they
other
still have their mother.
yeah. Then
and
you
there's
got,
the
yeah.
giant X. The giant X one is the one that pissed me off.
Yeah. So the fifth variant was the
Sure.
Old Man Logan, visually more accurate to the Old Man Logan's design, but like he has a shotgun. And yeah, the sixth variant is the crucified Wolverine.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that was like I was literally watching that. I was like, okay, fuck off, you little brick Wade's character for doing that. For such a sick of a joke. I was like, oh fuck, here's a Wolverine that's crucified. Let's fucking joke about it. And the grunts and
It's the
skulls.
reference.
Isn't it so
Yeah.
fun? Okay.
Yeah. It's based on the Mark Silvestri cover of Uncanny X-Men number 251.
I
So
wonder if he got any royalties.
No,
that's
it's like,
just no, definitely
no.
not.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Here's what Deadpool will do in the first two movies. He will free him because he actually empathizes with people who are suffering like him because he has a fucked up childhood. And in the second movie, he actually tries to save Fire Fist. I mean, he doesn't admit it to other people, but he actually cares about Fire Fist and actually tries to kill the people who tortures him. And in order to save him, risking his life for this. And here was like, ha ha ha, you're crucified, low, low, low. So that's so funny.
So just a small summary I already wrote up for. It's basically the story's about like Donald Pierce and the same villain from Logan, and his Reavers, the anti-mutant extremist group who tortures Wolverine. Logan is hallucinating about his past and the future of mutant kind. So yeah, that's just a cover. He's not actually
Yeah, it doesn't
like
actually happen.
crossed up with the skulls there. The story is like him like imagining like his hallucinations, but like that's not a real thing. Obviously it's like I get it. It's like you want to show the reference to the comic cover, but like sometimes comic covers are just like abstract. They're not literal. But yeah, there's another comic cover one that's better, which was the seventh one. First appearance Logan, from Incredible Hulk number 180. He's wearing the brown and tan.
Do you mean the
suit.
brown and yellow? That wasn't his
Brown-
first appearance.
Well, it's like the idea is like Logan fighting the Hulk in his first. That's like the idea, but the cover itself is inspired by the John Byrne one,
Yeah.
the Todd McFarlane cover. And yeah, there's a reflection to the Hulk in Wolverine's claws.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was a decent one.
Yeah, I mean that's that's fine. It's like some of them are not like, yeah, cool. I guess you can. That's the one I was like, okay, that's the most recent way. Why you can't just like, can you help me? I was like, he's fighting the Hulk right now, so he can't.
Yeah. But like it's just kind of like, okay, you're looking for a comic accurate looking suit. That's a comic accurate looking suit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And yeah,
I feel like you could wait for him.
By the way, you could. By the way,
Or
the
just
entire.
time travel to when he's available.
Yeah. By the way, Deadpool could just time travel to a universe that which is like some Wolverine just takes 1 second slower to eat a sandwich. He could just do that instead of just all these wacky universes.
Yeah, and then he makes it to the 8th Logan, which will be the one that we look at for the rest of the movie. And yeah, he's at a bar. Logan is. People don't like him, but it's not really typical Logan stuff. Deadpool tells Logan that he's needs help to save his universe. Logan doesn't care about anything. His claws doesn't come out properly, which Deadpool says that seems to be a common Logan problem over the age of 40. Funny.
It's a
I
dead
mean,
joke.
Haha, he's 200 years old, you dipshit. He literally mentioned it later.
Yeah, but he's talking about the actor.
Haha.
Deadpool puts the gun to Logan's head. Logan still doesn't care. He drinks an entire bottle of alcohol. There's a joke saying that you can keep drinking. The audience is used to long run times. And then he passes out drunk. And then, you'll just have to do. But Deadpool looks inside, sees that there's a yellow suit, saying that it only took 20 fucking years to do this thing. By the way, that's going to be very important for a scene that happens later.
Yeah, that's thing.
So yeah, Deadpool brings the alt Logan back to the TVA, to the Paradox, with the explanation that Logan can replace the Logan of his universe. Paradox says Deadpool is stupid because you cannot replace an anchor being. And then even if which he would have said the same problem with all the other Logans, but then it just so happens that the one that he picked was the worst Logan in the multiverse just by looking at him.
Oh fuck, he must have joined Thanos to destroy the universe or something.
He must have joined Hitler. I think there is a what if of where Wolverine is with the Nazis, but okay.
His claws come on the swastika shape.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be very painful. Yeah, so Paradox explains that Logan let down his entire world, and he said whatever Logan did is beyond forgiveness. Wow, that sounds really, really serious. I really hope they justify this build-up.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Maybe he got X-23 killed or something. I mean, actually, that still doesn't make it better, but that's something.
You just got to justify why he's the worst one.
I mean, why the fuck do you just say he's the worst one? Just say that he's not a good Wolverine. He sucks. Just don't say he's the worst one.
He's ass. He's not him. He's washed. Yeah. Paradox explains. Yeah. So Deadpool asks, like, it's okay. Okay, fine. I made a mistake. Fine. How can I make this right? And he's like, I already gave you the options. So Wade is like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to your superiors. Because he's deemed to be special, so maybe he can have a conversation to see if he can reason with the supervisor. Again, the rule of incursions are never applied because of this predeterminism that Marvel has, and the fan expectations of where these characters can go and operate with zero consequences until they serve their contrived narrative importance. That's my note, by the way.
Wait, to be honest, is that the line from the movie?
No, that was my commentary.
Of course, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, Deadpool is angry to Paradox about all of this, and he breaks the fourth wall, telling the Logan, welcome to the MCU. You're at a low point, though.
Yeah.
And it's still low as of this movie.
It's true.
Somehow you're making it even lower.
Yeah. And then the MCU made itself lower in the same weekend. Yeah, so he demands to Paradox that he's going to speak to the supervisor, like Karen, and talk about this. Then Deadpool looks around the room and he notices that everybody is silent at this, meaning he realizes that nobody has talked to the supervisors about this, and they're operating out of order.
Yeah, imagine every single employee was like, "What the fuck, man? I'm not gonna do this shit because you're gonna put my job on the line." It's like no one actually think of. Actually, I'm surprised no one actually is just like, "Wait, what the fuck are you doing, Paradox? You can get me fired on some shit."
Yeah, that was something that people were saying too. It's like, because like some people just didn't like people saying, "Oh, I don't like the suit having sleeves," and then people would say, "Oh, he has sleeves because of the skin cancer." But then you see they do lose the sleeves, so it's like then the new thing is like, oh, so you guys are complaining about the lack of the shoulder pads. I mean, I do too personally because like I think it needed a little bit more blue, and I think removing the shoulder pads, it's just funny to me because like all the merchandise has the sleeves, but the real one doesn't. I just find that interesting. Uh, but yeah, we'll talk about the suit a little bit more moving forward because it is like narratively important, sort of. Um, so yeah, so Deadpool, he tries to attack Paradox again. This time, Paradox prunes Deadpool before he could use the time pad.
Somehow,
Oh, that was easy.
well,
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
because
And
Paradox
then
is just a
Logan,
normal guy, and
yeah,
Deadpool is a mutant who can kill many people at once.
yeah, but he wanted to be Karen, so
Mm.
he was distracted. I need you to distract Kang. Type energy. Yeah, and then Logan's like, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?" And then he charges at Paradox, even though he just saw that some stick made Deadpool disappear, and then he runs into the stick, and then yeah, he's gone as well.
Wow, that was easy. Even though you're Wolverine who can actually beat people, like who can actually casually maneuver around this shit.
Yeah, and this movie has like Wolverine like moving like a kind of a little bit more comic accurate in terms of like how he's more hunched over when he runs or like when he leaps forward like a Wolverine. So it's like you could like lunge into him pretty easy without getting hit.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It's the worst Wolverine though.
and
So
by the way, it's so
Sure.
lucky that the Deadpool just pulls out a temp pad, and the temp pad suddenly doesn't just comes with him for some reason. Even though in I think past movies in the shows like they actually whenever that you touch something the thing comes with you. That's how it works.
yeah, here it drops out of his hand and onto the floor. So yeah,
Um,
because they can't have a way for them to get out of the void because they need to spend the next 1 hour in the void. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're in the void, and Logan goes to fight Deadpool, and that shadow shot that's like in the trailer, like he opens the claws like super easily there, and then so just bear with me. The first time he tries to do the claws, like it's like very small, like he can't like it barely went over his knuckles. Then the second time he opens it like super easily. Then the third time they do it, they show it like slowly sinking out of his fist, which I really hate that. It's
I'm
like
not sure what
gross.
that's about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like is he like a Logan that hasn't used his claws in a while or something? That used to be like in Old Man Logan actually in the comic, like he would not use his claws for like a long time because of what he did. Um, I don't know if it was trying to reference that or of any sort, but then like the rest of the movie, he uses the claws like normal, no problem, no hitch. So I don't know why they spent two shots showing that it was hard for him with the
because it's
claw.
funny. You get it?
I don't really get the joke.
He's old. Laugh.
Mhm. He'll be here till he's 90. Yeah, so they fight. And
Indeed, they do.
Yeah, it's
so
so fun.
this is basically like all Deadpool and Wolverine fights are just gonna be like just keep fighting until you get tired, basically, because they can't kill each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. The fight continues on. I'm gonna kind of zoom past it because it's not really too much to say here. Then somebody shows up. Somebody was actually just standing above watching this fight the whole time.
Contrive. The void. If you remember Loki, the void is infinite. It can control the entire multiverse. So the odds
So
of people being here, and also the fact where are the Lokis?
honestly, like what I also don't
You
understand
know,
is
they're just over
this
there.
like the void is like sunlight. Wasn't like the clouds more purple?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I guess it's just a cloudy day in Loki.
Yeah, because like that's kind of the thing. The void just looks like Earth, like straight up. Like there's deserts, there's like lakes, there's like forests,
Forests.
there's like the woods and all that. Yeah, it's like cornfields. Like it's just like Earth, really. I don't know. It's just like another lack of creativity. I mean, I appreciate the on-set stuff, like being like actually in location for these shots, but it's like I don't know. It's like I feel like we would want to go a little bit more creative with the void, but yeah, it's just Earth. But it has your favorite MCU comic book thingies in it, so it's fine.
Oh fuck! So the other Lokis are here because that's established in the Loki show.
Nope.
Fuck.
They're just, over there.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, doing their
it's,
own
a,
thing.
it's an infinite void. They're somewhere. Speaking of which, so somebody is up on the little pillar again, watching the fight the whole time, not doing anything. It's like you guys shouldn't fight each other. You shouldn't kill each other. There's gonna be some bad blood up here, and then like it's over there, and then all of a sudden the uh, Mad Max is
Yeah.
just like pretty much on the way. This mystery guy comes down. Then he opens his hood. It's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember him.
I remember that guy. He's got short hair, but like it's Chris Evans for sure. Um. So yeah, he shows up out of nowhere, and then he gets down. The Mad Mexers are like circling around them like bad guys, and then he's like, it's time to get ready. And then Wade is like, oh, he's gonna say the thing. He's gonna say the
Yeah,
thing.
Deadpool's like, what's Captain America?
Avengers, flame on! Yeah, everybody cheered.
Of
It's
course.
Human
Oh
Torch.
yeah. Oh
Matt
fuck!
Ramos' tweet came true.
Chris Evans, Human Torch. He's back. This is peak. Yeah, he flames on. He flies. He fires at Pyro, the mutant that has firepower.
Pyro from X-Men 2 and 3.
Yeah,
He's
Just
back.
the fire being. Still.
just remember.
And-
So
So Pyro's just sitting there casually, just holding a wrist out. You're trying to tell me that Pyro has the capacity to stop somebody who can go the power of a supernova?
Yes.
Fuck off.
fuck. Oh yeah. I watched both movies again. I watched both movies just to remember what did I miss, and holy shit, that's insane. I was like,
Yeah, killing a Kang would be funny.
yeah,
They'd probably do a back shot because they don't want to show Jonathan Major's face. But I would accept that if they tried that.
yeah. So
I do believe they would remember Human Torch, mainly because like they wanted to do the whole
at least Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
so-
somebody that
Subversion.
the face that we recognize. At least that makes sense, and not Iron Man being Doctor Doom. Funnily enough, Hugh Jackman seems to have said before that he would only come back if Cap made a return. He was kinda right.
Yeah.
Matter of speaking, from a certain point of view.
Okay, so I rewatched the Fantastic Four movie. Pyro not only just blocks Johnny's supernova fire, he also basically makes it powerless.
He turns him off. Like
He like drains him of his fire. I didn't know
he
it was
never
finite.
tries to flame on again later. So it's like
No.
seems done.
Yeah.
Which
Then he
is-
falls like from 5 stories up, ragdolls his head on.
It's like
Steel.
First, he
It's fine.
knocks on his balls first because that's
Oh.
funny,
Oh right, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he ragdolls his head twice.
okay, so in the movies, if you remember, okay, Mr. Fantastic say the supernova changes our DNA. So every power is basically in our DNA. What
Yeah.
power did is basically he sucks his DNA for some reason, and that was never a thing in the X-Men movies.
It's just impossible, man. Human Torch is like an OD level superhero. Like there is no
Well, not
possible
here.
way that Pyro. This is Johnny Storm in his prime, by the way. So it's like he's had decades of experience at this point, and that's how he goes out. It's fucking pathetic. And I know it's meant to be a joke because haha, Wolverine and Deadpool say we didn't know that guy, so who cares?
Yep, and fuck's sake, I hate this. And the other thing, so you saw that he just fall on his balls, slam his head, and he's somehow alive. I actually went back to watch the two movies, and it turns out he actually survived the falls like this. But
Yeah, he has durability.
but
yeah.
he also have to try to flame on a bit first whenever that happened in order to survive the fall. So you're telling me Pyro took away all his powers, and he survived that fall, which is fucking bullshit.
I can only give it a benefit of a doubt if it was like temporary, and then he uses his power again, even though it's still bullshit. But like even then, it's like one, attack somebody else. You don't have to attack Pyro. There was no reason to do that. Secondly, I don't even understand this logic. Human Torch can control fire too. Like that's not like he can also absorb fire from somebody else. So it's like I don't know. It's and then also stop firing. It's the Palpatine thing.
Yeah, if it's clearly not working.
Yeah.
It's not working. Stop firing. Fly away. Do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like it's the Palpatine where he just keeps doing the lightning bolts instead of just stopping.
Yeah,
It's that critical drinker beam. It's like piss. You just do it and you can't
Yeah,
stop.
you can't. Once you start, you can't stop.
it's so weird because I was literally watching the Fantastic Four movie. It's like, okay, you clearly I don't even remember he can just shoot fire like this. But to be fair, he did. So it's like he did in this movie for after a long period of time.
I only say that at least he did something like a Human Torch, unlike their previous version of Reed Richards. But that's like a very low bar.
And he's also an idiot for this version. And they retcon his ability, just like, okay, you can suck his DNA out. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, that and it's like also like, he's a hothead. Of course he's a moron.
No. Fuck
But
that
this
shit.
is 2 decades later. He's not stupid.
No, not just that. Because
And hotheads don't have to be stupid. I don't understand that.
And in Rise of the Silver Surfer, his arc of that movie is to learn to humble himself and not to be irresponsible, reckless, a hothead, and any of that shit. He learns to, understand people.
Like at least tone it down. Yeah.
Tone it down, just like respect other people and stuff. So it's like, so if you tell me this Johnny Storm is suddenly an asshole again after that movie, I was like, fuck off. That's not possible. And to be honest, that's not even the worst offender here. That's actually later.
Yeah, and honestly, like this is like, it's like you could have like some semblance of saying, like, oh, maybe this is like an alternate Human Torch who just happens to look like Chris Evans. I don't think so. I can't.
No.
I mean, there's no. I mean, he doesn't act like Johnny Storm at all in any iteration of the character that I know. He acts like a boys parody, like the boys parody of what you think a Human Torch would be like, what he would act like. He kind of just acts like that.
No, I remember. I just think that he acts like the character from Scott Pilgrim. The asshole enemy.
That's a good shout out.
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, that's what I remember. It I was like, and this version was like, you do not act like Human Torch at all. Oh no,
he's talking about the movie, the good one.
No, yeah, the one Chris Evans plays the same character.
Yeah, which is not Human Torch, despite people thinking that is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of on this boat as well. It is kind of an improvement, but also feels like a downgrade for the first film. I feel like the first film was just more memorable.
No, I've seen
for a lot of people at least.
Here's the thing: Johnny is actually much better in the second movie because he actually went through a better arc.
Yeah,
but it's like Sue Storm, it's like what Reed Richards and the thing are actually kind of a downgrade because
Yeah,
yeah
that's why I think the first film is like regarded better.
yeah I mean
There's a
also,
better balance of the heroes.
and also like Silver Surfer is actually kind of pretty good as a character in this movie, except the fact that I was like, dude, why don't you just let him eat Mars instead of Earth? The planet with no people.
Well, I mean,
They never explain. It's in the comics, but they never explain in this movie. So I was just wondering, just let him eat the other non-inhabitable planets.
yeah. I mean, like usually when he's like well, I think that would be too much in the direction of somewhere else, and we're already 2 hours over. That's a discussion for another time. Yeah, but like Wolverine's like, we don't know that guy. Thought we did. So yeah, who cares about that Johnny Storm? And then Sabretooth comes out. It's like, I want you. And then here's something that I noticed. Is like, so Deadpool's like, Sabretooth, your brother. It's like, that's not a thing in the comics. Sabretooth and Wolverine are not brothers; they're just rivals.
X-Men
So
Origins, but
that's an Origins. I know that, but like, I know Deadpool's saying that, but like, I would have liked it if Logan's like my brother. It's like, I don't have a brother. At least let me know that this is a different Logan, or like he just doesn't blindly accept like the meta knowledge. I don't know. It's just like that's like a nitpick, but it's like I feel like it would have been something to like point out. But yeah. Yeah, so Wolverine doesn't question this exposition dump, but it could have just shown a difference. And then Deadpool says that people have been waiting for this fight for decades. Which is not true.
No, the fight happened in the first X-Men movie.
And you got your ass beat.
And Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
But it's a different actor, sure, whatever, but like he still fought Sabretooth. Even then, nobody was really going out of their way to look for this fight. So
yeah,
I wasn't sure about that. But if they were, they'd be disappointed here.
Yeah, it's like killed in one slash, and then Sabretooth has an adamantium skeleton too, by the way. So that shouldn't be the case, but I guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, I don't think
so. This is movie.
No, I don't think it's.
I'm talking about
not in the X-Men Origins.
Yeah, that's a comic thing.
But yeah, it's if it Origins he doesn't have one, but so it's like
But he can still like regenerate at the very least. But he was decapitated here.
No, to be honest, even I was like, dude, I do not believe a second this Sabretooth could just die by one strike from Logan.
No, I absolutely don't believe that.
No, he literally fought quote unquote Deadpool in the first movie, on the same power as Logan, and he actually beat Logan in X1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, no, fuck that. That's insane. That's disrespectful. I hate that.
Yeah, very good point, Jaxpool. Yeah, he just dies in a one shot. Then he's but like it's all for a Furiosa joke, so it's fine.
And people gotta remember Furiosa, I guess.
Yeah. So then Pyro's like, Toad, you're up, and all Toad does is turn on a magnet, and then so this is something I noticed. So Deadpool walks behind Logan, then the magnet turns on, and because Logan is like heavy, the magnet gets Wade stuck under Logan. So if Deadpool was in front of Logan, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, or just slightly sideways.
Or I guess like maybe he gets pulled a little bit because of the adamantium swords, but like I don't know. It's not as comparable as an adamantium skeleton.
And it's lucky they actually have this because not every character is made of metal. Yeah. Imagine they fight Sue Storm. It's like, oh fuck, let's use this metal against her.
Because like you could talk about Magneto, but like Magneto is not made of metal. He controls metal, so it's like that logic doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Unless you're expecting a Wolverine one day, then that's
a Colossus.
It's kind of important. Maybe Colossus. Yeah. So the Runts capture Logan. Wade and Johnny and send him to Cassandra Nova. So yeah, Johnny doesn't
but
die.
by the way, yeah, Johnny just say a bunch of nonsense here. It's like she's a cock sucking motherfucker. Actually, I'm not gonna remember that shit. It's just a lot of swear words to say that she's a cunt.
Yeah. Again, that's not how Johnny's. It's like, I don't know. It felt like what a 40-year-old thinks a teenager talks.
No, fuck that. Yeah, it's like it's insane because it's for a joke, and you completely ruin Johnny's character when it comes to like he learns to understand people, respect them, and now in this movie, it's like he's a cocksucking motherfucker. And, dude, I get it. I know that he's a villain. I know that Cassandra is a villain, but so is Doctor Doom, and you never and Silver Surfer, and you never just call them like cocksucker motherfucker. Go kill yourself. Try to destroy the world. Now, so you can eat my ass, peel my skin off. None of that shit.
The thing is, like, here, it's like, I mean, you could say that, like, he didn't expect Deadpool to just tell the truth. Like, he would just keep it to himself.
Yeah, it was like, and the second.
But it's like, even then, it's like, we'll get to that. We're almost there.
Yeah, it's like, because the last mention is like, because in the second movie, he actually helps Norman Reed, Silver Surfer, to help sacrifice himself. The person who actually fucked with him, and he tried to destroy the world. He tried to help him at the end, which is a character arc. And I do not believe a second this Johnny would just say something like this out of nowhere.
Well, he does,
of course,
and deal with it.
Yeah, so yeah, the runts, they take him to Cassandra Nova. During the ride, Johnny explains that they are in the void. He likes to call it purgatory, whereas Reed used to call it a metaphysical junkyard. Oh my God, he mentioned Reed Richards. Point and clap. Yeah. And everything useless would go into the void before they get annihilated forever, and a place where the TVA send people who are not nice to the multiverse. So Logan says that Johnny must have done something like that, but Johnny never explained what did he do that was not nice to the multiverse. So fuck it, doesn't matter.
Exist. It was not being the MCU was his crime.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Another character has this exact same problem. We'll get to her. Yeah, but Johnny confirms that Alioth is the one that does the annihilating, which Deadpool asked, the same Alioth from season 1, episode 5. Funny.
Yeah.
Johnny says that everyone in the void runs from Alioth, and that there is a resistance
so
group.
you know Loki.
Yeah, you know Loki's, but you don't know
But
TVA
he doesn't know the
agents.
TVA.
Yeah, and that's there is a resistance group in the Borderlands that try to find a way to get out of here. Okay, so this infinite void, and there's only 3 members on this resistance group team. That makes sense. That makes sense.
No,
there's 5
no,
of them,
actually,
right?
7.
But it's still
Johnny,
a very small number.
Very small number though for an infinite
Yeah.
void. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of my point. It's enough for the actress that we can pay. Of course. Yeah, so Logan suggests that they go find the others in the Borderlands to get back to the TVA, which Johnny says that is not going to be possible because in the void, you either get eaten by Alioth or you work for Cassandra Nova. Cassandra and her runts operate in the corpse of a giant Ant-Man. Your looks like Paul Rudd finally aged joke. It's all right.
Yeah.
It was also in the trailer. She's interested in so. Okay.
Now I just wondering, what the fuck? You have PIM, so you have access to PIM tech. You can just shrink shit. It's like, and you didn't think of I can use this as a weapon because I have access to PIM particles and shrinking technology.
She's already a god. She doesn't need more powers. We'll get to that. Yeah, so Cassandra meets up. She's in a wheelchair. And then she walks. The ableism. You're going to get canceled on Twitter. Very, very funny. Yeah, and then she says she's interested in Wolverine because this is the first time of her meeting one. So yeah, there's no Wolverines in the void. That's kind of curious to me when I was watching. Yeah, because there's like 1,000 Deadpools though. I don't know how any of this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she explains. Sorry.
I said just ignore it. Don't think about it.
Yeah. She explains that Xavier is her twin and they never liked each other. So she used the same comic origin of her and Charles battling in the womb and strangling him with an umbilical cord. And then how the TVA sent her here since she was a baby.
Wow, how the fuck do you find food, water, and
Yeah,
and
there's
anything?
not meeting either Wolverines or the Blood.
Someone
Not
had to
really,
raise
not
her.
really. It's just more of like, damn. So there's like a bunch of Wolverines, a bunch of Lokis, but like this is the first time a Wolverine has been in the Void. It's kind of curious, but like it's not plot breaking. I just don't. It just goes back to like I don't really understand how the Void works outside of just we need these kinds of cameos or we need these kinds of people to exist in the Void.
Trust me, I don't even know how does anyone survive if they drop it here as a baby. It was like, okay, how do you get food or water? It's a four. You literally call it Mad Max.
Yeah, and it's also like does she have like a mentor that raised her? We don't know that either. Never
No, I mean-
explained.
I mean, she could just say that Magneto raised me and then I killed him afterwards.
That'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
It'd be something at least. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So my only comment on like using this exact comic origin like of strangling with the umbilical cord, then she was taken away by the TVA. It's just like it's kind of weird to make it directly similar to the comic version. Then I have to question the comic doesn't have her sent to the Void, but it's like I guess the comics are not canon. That's already been confirmed a long time ago. The more they keep making multiverse stuff, but yeah, yeah. So she said she has a good feeling about this. So she removes the bonds from the two. She turns her attention to the Flame Boy. And she says she's been trying to catch him for years, and this was the wrong time to make new friends. Yeah, it's almost like this is contrived.
Yeah.
He was smart for years, and then he just happened to find the two idiots that would get him killed. Oh, wait, that's a spoiler. Deadpool tells Nova everything that Johnny said to her, and Johnny stammers that he didn't say any of that.
Yeah,
Like
I was like, why would Deadpool just do this?
Like, what did he expect to happen?
I was like, and this is supposed to be a guy who empathizes with people with tragic backstory, and this is a world where everyone is got thrown down and forced to survive for a long while. Basically he's like Fire Fist in Deadpool 2.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, essentially. Yeah, and then Johnny's dead. Rips the entire skin off of him. The bones fall to the ground. And then, first thing Wade says, not my favorite Chris. Very
Fuck
funny.
you.
What a respectful send off to the old Fantastic Four movies. Am I right?
Yeah, am I right? It's not like he's my favorite part in the second movie.
And then again, we talked about the post credit scene. It's like he says, you guys are saying that you got Johnny killed. It's like, actually, he did say all this stuff. Here's the footage. It's like, which, by the way, how do you get footage from inside the Void? But I guess meta knowledge or whatever. But then
how do you got access to TV
again,
afterwards?
even if he said that, you still got him killed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just because he said you can quote me on that, just like, dude, what the fuck? Imagine you have a friend. Okay, everyone has that friend. I was like, okay, I talk shit behind this person. It's like, and then, she sucks. Like, and then it's not like you just tell her. It's like, actually, what do you? It's not like you just tell tell that person exactly what your friend thinks of this. No one does that. That's a cunt move.
Yeah. Even though he said you could quote me on that, like when he is saying it, you could clearly tell that he's scared, denying it, like taking it back.
Yeah, I mean, he also says like he's grieving in his own way.
Yeah, and
which
by the way,
the whole thing is like Logan saying you got him killed. It's like we're all grieving. he knows, like they knew he knew what he was doing when he took the budget for this movie. So yeah, it was all for a budget joke.
Great.
The other two movies had budget jokes that were funnier and not character assassinating.
No, yeah, that every scene of that was character assassinating. I was like, wow.
They just have like funny ways doing it, like when he leaves all his guns in the car.
Yeah.
The first
like,
movie.
Yeah,
how come I only see this is a big mansion? There's only two of you. Only
Yeah.
is that like Fox can't afford another expert,
oh, we're gonna we're gonna have a Deadpool fight later.
or like Beast closing the door.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have this big CGI battle, Colossus versus Juggernaut.
Big CGI fight scene coming up.
Yeah. Better films. So yeah, Cassandra can see that Alioth is on its way. Wade tries to explain that Paradox is trying to destroy his universe, and he needs Logan to get back to help and save his universe. Cassandra doesn't believe that Deadpool is a world-saving type. Cassandra realizes that she hit a nerve when she said this. And she says that, either you help them or he makes Logan sing Music Man for the entire second act without any warm-up. Ha ha ha.
I get
Logan,
that reference.
yeah, Logan asks where did Nova get the chair. She says that she got it once in a while, that there is an Xavier sent into the void. She never had met the real twin of hers, and he never seemed to care to find her. So they have this like weird thing, like where she does want the love of Charles Xavier, her real twin, but like she's like okay with killing variants of him, I guess.
Also tried to kill him in the womb.
Yeah, and then like it becomes more. This becomes more of a problem in like the third act, in particular.
No, even this act, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so Wade's like, your Gen Z is always complaining about things rather than keeping things to yourself or just die. This gets Nova to say that she isn't like everybody else. Wolverine seems to match up with her well. She says that the TVA thought she was very scary, and she was sent to the void before she could even walk. So yeah, she's been here for a long time where she shouldn't be functional.
Yeah.
But she is.
But she is. Cassandra loves being in the void because she's allowed to use her powers without any shame. She states that Charles never taught her how to control her temper. She also asks Logan if his version of Charles protected him or made him feel safe. Logan says that mutants were never safe. He gets angry and tries to attack Nova. She uses her telekinesis to pin him down to the ground and move him underground. Then
Doesn't just kill him like Johnny.
No. Because the only thing I can really say is that she was interested in Logan in particular because he's the first variant of Logan that she's ever seen. That's the only thing I could give.
Was she going to pull him out of the ground then?
I'm not really sure.
I guess, but
she just turns the attention to Wade. He has no beef with her. He wants to go back to his friends at home. So Cassandra says, could send you home, but I don't really want to. Then she inserts her finger through his skull, asks what he wants.
Oh no, she teleport first. Fuck.
Well, yeah, it's like Wanda, kind of.
Yeah.
And so she inserts the fingers in the skulls, and then she says that Charles could end somebody's mind with a thought, but she has to get her hands dirty. So yeah.
Wait, how do you kill Charles again?
Element of surprise.
Sure.
So yeah, the flashback. There is a flashback when Wade and Vanessa are talking, and now this is a big one. So he did not make it on the Avengers in Earth 616, quote unquote. The two of them are arguing about if Wade is able to do something about do something that is bigger than himself. So it's like he's selfish now. What is he selfish about?
I don't know, because he's never like this. Like, he actually cares about people. What do they think about him, and how he's not really he's selfish for sure for some things, but it's like but he's also really selfless when it comes to helping other people he cares about. Don't get me wrong, Wade is not a hero. He's a more an anti-hero. He doesn't care about like people's lives, but he cares about people he cares about. He cares about and actually sympathize with.
Yeah. So that was something that I noticed. To, like, do something that's bigger than yourself. It's like I just never really got that sense that this is what Vanessa leaving Wade over not getting the Avengers is character assassination. Now the only thing I can, this is kind of the problem. So there is some tampering from Cassandra's words, but like it does still seem like because he didn't make it on the Avengers from a different Earth, by the way, not even their universe. Like, oh, you didn't make a team on this world. Why didn't you try another world? If you can go to this world, you can go to another one. Surely, but meta, the MCU's Jesus. Yeah, and then after the Avengers rejected him, Wade stopped being Deadpool, and he's never gotten himself back up. So he's just a loser now.
Wow.
And Vanessa knows that Wade is going through things and that she will go through them with him. Wade is like, just tell me that you don't want to be with me anymore or not.
What would Deadpool say that?
Because he's like, okay, it's like, let's go through this together. Okay,
Like, yeah,
this is the kind of thing like,
in the past movie, you go through things together aside from the cancer stuff because you don't want her to feel sad that they would die.
And again, you're talking about a team on a different universe. Like, first off, like if he made it on the Avengers, you're not here. You're not on 616, quote unquote. You're still going to be in 10,005. I don't really know why would you want this anyway? Wouldn't you want to be somewhere in your planet?
I mean, if anything, just show an X-Man. Or just take it.
We learn later why that doesn't happen, but we'll get to that.
Even that was fucking stupid, but well.
Yeah, so Cassandra alters the memory of the line saying that Vanessa will never fucking matter. But yeah, so that's kind of the problem. We don't really know the resolution of this. We just know that they broke up. But like, yeah.
And here's the thing. If she could do this, why don't you just do it to Johnny? Literally. She knows that he's a resistance.
He's over the budget, man.
Oh fuck. That's so we just gonna make Cassandra an idiot.
No, we're making Johnny an idiot. Cassandra's just kind of there.
Yeah, and she instead of just why don't Cassandra just read his mind as well? He's because she knows they're resistance and he is connected to resistance.
Well, to be fair, Jaxpool, the Avengers in the comics don't kill, but the Avengers in the MCU they kill a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I mean Cassandra,
they kill bad guys, but like they don't kill like how Deadpool kills. To be fair,
me and Cassandra. Why don't Cassandra just read Johnny's mind?
No. I was answering Jaxpool's caption. All right, man. Like, okay, so it's kind of getting a little bit late.
To be fair, the movie is so shit. There's a lot of things to go through.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you guys don't mind, I want to just finish this this section, and if you wanted to pick it up part 2 tomorrow, we could do that.
To be honest, I don't really have much to say for this scene because it's aside from how they escape.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how they escape as a way to end it.
Right.
Yeah. So, is that all right with your operation? I know you have like a busy.
If you do it tomorrow, I probably won't make it unless you start at like 7 or so.
Sure.
I'm okay with that. It's more on Unity. He has a later time.
No, I'm fine with that. I mean, I got jackpot, but fuck, I have to do that afterwards.
Okay, as long as you're okay with it. Like
yeah.
Unity. Yeah. I just wanted to end this this scene. I just got a few things to do. Yeah. So Eliath is on his way. Oh wait, before that even happens, Deadpool pulls out a baby knife, threatens to kill Cassandra. She's like, you'll need more than that to kill me. How about 6 blades? Wolverine just ends up under the ground and stabs Cassandra. You don't hear the digging. You don't hear like he's just
He
there
just
under her.
appears, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, and that doesn't really do anything. Yeah, she's pretty much invulnerable at this point. Yeah, so she knocks Wolverine back off with the telekinesis. Alioth shows up. Cassandra lets them go to pay its rent. So then everybody. So just like a little bit of a commentary. There's like all of these mutants around, like Azazel, Juggernaut, Psylocke, Callisto, like and like 50 other mutants.
Also, that was
Everybody's
that
just
was that
standing
Last Stand
around.
Psylocke?
Yeah, it's a different actress. It's not Olivia Munn.
Right.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
So I was
they're
thinking, I was
all
like,
just,
is that the Last Stand Psylocke? So I guess it was.
maybe. But yeah, all of them are just like standing around while these like the main characters talk. I don't know. It's just like that's kind of the thing. Is like there's a lot of standing around, especially for those that are not talking. They're just like listening to people with hear like things. It's weird because like a lot of these characters are Brotherhood of Mutants characters, so it's like they're pretty important in like X-Men comics, but like in this movie they're like pretty much glorified extras.
Mhm.
I just found that really weird. Then again, it's like that's kind of a commentary that Deadpool could say. It's like, what about you guys? You guys don't say shit. Something like that. I don't know. That was just something I noticed.
He could. But
Yeah, but then Logan finds a Sentinel boot, kicks it to open the rocket launcher to fly away, and Deadpool climbs on as well.
Lucky.
Yeah, so that Sentinel boot being there, very lucky, very lucky.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Cassandra Nova just watches in interest.
He just sends Alioth. I was like, okay, how do you control Alioth?
I
Just
think
tell
Alioth was just on his way.
But okay, but why didn't, if that's the case, why didn't Alioth just kills everyone, kill every mutant here?
So I don't know. The thing is, like when they're inside Ant-Man, the corpse, I just think they're safe because like every time they do
For
it,
some
like
reason.
everybody is just safe. Even the others, like the other heroes that are there later in the movie, they don't die either. They're in.
Wait, how?
I don't know how Alioth works. It's been
Yeah,
very inconsistent.
Doesn't he like eat a boat in Loki?
yeah, a warship. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
He go through the entire ship to find someone.
Yeah. So being inside
Probably
isn't
the
safe.
Sentinel boot from the
Yeah.
Deadpool games.
No, yeah, to be honest, the best way is just like, oh, actually, I can shrink this castle because I have Pimtech. I mean, that's something at least. But no, but they didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it just seems like whenever you're inside Ant-Man, you're safe. But then again, she's like, "Oh, I'm feeding you to Alioth," but it's like you're still inside Ant-Man, but you guys are safe. I don't know.
mean,
I don't know how this works.
I'm just saying, if you want to kill them, just kill them with your mind. I mean, you can't kill them, but at least you can just
Yeah.
scramble their brains.
Yeah, and then I mean, Cassandra answers that question like later. But yeah, that's like kind of where we can stop before this like next phase of the movie, which is kind of like halfway through the movie anyway.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit, this movie is awful.
Yeah, it's a lot's going on. Lots going on. Yeah, I'm sorry for cutting it so short. I just had something come up and I have to go and do that. But yeah, we're gonna pick it up tomorrow, and finish the second half of the movie. Yeah, Jaxpool, it's really great to have you here, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it is.
You too, Sty. Yeah, Unity, say goodbye to the people.
Yep, goodbye. Yeah, I want to talk about it more, but oh well, someone's important, so it's fine. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow because the later half is even worse. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Operation, it's good to have you again.
Yeah. Good to be back.
And
Again.
yeah, we'll try. We're gonna do this again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be there or be square.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
So long.